Fred McGriff lifts a high drive to deep right field, and that one is going to sail way out of here. And that's a rocket to right. He pulled it and then some over the fence for a 3-run homer. And the rout is on here, the 3rd inning.
A rout indeed, as Atlanta bats broke records and Philadelphia hearts, tying the series at a game apiece. For Braves fans, justice has been restored, and now by hook or by crook, they were heading home to sweet Georgia with the series now a best of 5. It is a gorgeous peach of a day in Georgia as the Braves bring postseason play home to Atlanta for the 3rd straight year. But this time, merely reaching the World Series will simply not be enough. The expectations are as high as the decibel level here in the old chop shop, where every elbow joint is jumping. Fred McGriff is one of the objects of these fans' adoration. Getting the man they call Crime Dog was a real steal. Since coming over from San Diego, he has ignited the Atlanta offense. For the Phillies, Lenny Dykstra has been playing the spark plug role for the past couple of years. He generates excitement at the plate, in the field, and even off it. But this series is also about style. David Justice represents the sleek, the polished, been to postseason before sophistication of the Braves. He's married to movie star Halle Berry. John Kruk, on the other hand, is a symbol of the bulging at the belt Phillies. He says, hey, why bother shaving when you could come as you are to trade barbs with David Letterman? Some of the key characters bracing to resume their battles of October. Hi again, everybody. I'm Pat O'Brien. If it's Saturday, this must be New York City. And after a week of traveling between Chicago, Philadelphia, and Toronto, it's good to settle down as we begin a huge sports weekend with 4 League Championship Series games and, of course, Week 6 of the NFL. Clearly, this is too much excitement for one man alone. No matter how big of fans, we're delighted to welcome our old pal, Dodgers manager Tommy Lasorda. And as everybody knows, Tommy is full of tales, and this week they entail 2 cities. On Tuesday, His Honor Mayor Maynard Jackson flew to Phoenix to give Tommy the key to the city of Atlanta after the Dodgers eliminated the Giants last Sunday. And look at this, Lasorda for mayor. This ran into the Atlanta papers. And Tommy, welcome. It's nice to have you back sitting next to me. You were 500 club this year, the Dodgers, a little better than last season, but it must have been a thrill to eliminate those hated Giants in Los Angeles.
Well, we played much better this year than we did last year, Pat, and to get rid of the Giants as we did, it was kind of like a payback for what they had done to us in 1951 and 62 and 91, and those things we remembered. But it was sad because of my friend Dusty Baker, who played for me, manager, did a super job, won 103 games, and come up short with the brass ring.
You love to have that W on the last day of the season. You look great. How do you feel?
I feel outstanding.
You feel as you look then, right?
That's right.
Okay, before we get to the Phillies and the Braves and their Game 3, let's get everybody caught up on the American League Championship Series, where last night in Toronto, the White Sox did what the Blue Jays had done in the first 2 games in Chicago. They won on the road. Oh, Canada, the mighty dome was closed last night, and for a while it looked like nothing would ever leave the ballpark. In the first inning, Robin Ventura rocked Pat Henkin deep, but Joe Carter comes up with a circus fielding gem. Finally, in the 3rd, Ellis Burke singled to drive in a pair of White Sox runs. And over in the dugout, manager Gene Lamont was no longer lamenting about his offense. A couple of batters later, Lance Johnson went to the opposite field to drive in 2 more runs, capping a 5-run October outburst. And suddenly, what was beginning to look like a Toronto series sweep found that one-way momentum dramatically slowing down. Cito Gaston didn't need the psychic hotline to tell him this series was going at least 5. And you can see that from watching the way Wilson Alvarez was breezing through the Blue Jays batting order.
5 runs there in the 4th inning. That definitely takes away a lot of the home crowd advantage. The crowd was really pumped up. They came out ready to support us. Unfortunately, things just didn't go our way.
So that's a tough mountain to climb when you got a guy like Alvarez out there. So if we can, as we did in the first couple of games, get some runs and get a lead for our guy and give him something to work with, I think Stodd's pitching well enough where we have confidence if we can do that, he'll pitch a good ball game for us.
Wilson Alvarez took the smiles off of their faces. A manager watching that on television, what was the difference, do you think, for the White Sox in Game 2?
Very simple, Pat. In the first 2 games, they failed to drive in those men in scoring position. Last night's game, they capitalized, and that's the difference. You look at a team when they lose, they fail to drive in those runs with 2 outs and runners in scoring position.
Tonight they'll play Game 4 at the Sky Dome. We'll have it for you at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. First pitch slated to be thrown at 8:12 Eastern Time tonight. Todd Stottlemyre will start for the Blue Jays. The White Sox will counter with rookie Jason Beret. How hot is he? He's won his last 7 starts. Now for more on tonight's Game 4, let's go north of the border and say hello to our good friend Jim Cotto. I just left last night in Toronto. And Kitty, let's talk about Jason Beret for a minute. 22 years old, first time he's had a look at the Toronto Blue Jays.
Well, with the White Sox pitching staff, it appears that they get younger, but they get better. And I think Tommy Lasorda can identify with this. Just because a pitcher is young doesn't mean he doesn't have the pitches or the poise to win in the big leagues. And Jason Beret, like Alvarez last night, won his last 7 starts. He's a tough kid out of New England. Some say he has the same mentality and approach that Roger Clemens does. He has the best fastball on the White Sox staff. He throws the 4-seamer high in the strike zone, has a sinking fastball, a good change and a curve. And again, like Alvarez, the key to Beret is if he can throw it in the strike zone. If he does, he's very difficult to hit.
Kitty, there were a lot of timely hits last night. Curious what you think was the biggest hit of the night.
Well, as Tommy said, knocking in key runs with 2 outs, but the way to set that up is to get the hits. And I really thought the biggest hit in that inning was Joey Cora. Pat Hinton had him no balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the inning. If he gets him out, then Frank Thomas leads off the next inning, but he didn't. Cora dumped a hit into right field, and I really think that gave the White Sox an opportunity to score those 5 runs. For me, that's the biggest hit in the inning.
All right, Kitty, thank you. We'll see you tonight. Good job up there. And on deck now, we'll head down to Hotlanta for a visit with our man McCarver as this NLCS edition of Baseball 93 rolls on from Broad Street to Peachtree here on CBS. Stay with us.
CBS Sports presents Major League Baseball. Baseball 93 is brought to you by Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires. And by Kellogg's, the best to you each morning.
What tire do you trust in the wet? A tire that removes over 2 gallons of water per second from under the tread. The all-season MX4. Another engineering splash from Michelin. Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires.
The thing is, 2 scoops of raisins make Kellogg's Raisin Bran taste so good, people forget it's good for them. What do you think?
Tastes good.
And?
It's delicious.
That's the same thing. See, it's Kellogg's, remember, so it tastes good and it's good for you.
Right, I forgot.
That's all right. Let's try again.
It tastes good.
And?
It's tasty.
And?
It's really tasty.
There are 2 reasons to eat Kellogg's Raisin Bran. The taste.
And?
We're here at one of the world's tallest dams with Bob Rhodes. Bob, you're a traveler. You ever spend $70 for a motel room?
Yes, I do.
May I see your wallet, please?
Sure.
Thank you. Hey! Hey! Quite an echo. You know, Bob, if you're not staying at a Red Roof Inn, you're throwing your money away. As much as $30 a night.
Don't throw your money away. Hit the roof. Red Roof Inns. Call 1-800-THE-ROOF.
More to the left, Bob. No, my left.
The first time you go out with someone, you want everything to be right.
Every time he gets close, I just want to get closer.
It's all right to sweat when we're working out, but when we're close,
Cute or not, if he smells, it's over.
Get a little closer with Arid, the anti-odor antiperspirant. New improved formula works harder to help keep you extra, extra dry.
I trust Arid.
She was there, and she says tailhook was no big deal. Boys will be boys. He was one of the boys, and he says it was debauchery. Which was it? 60 Minutes, Sunday.
Beautiful day. The 1993 National League Championship Series tied at 1-1 has shifted venues from Philadelphia down there in Atlanta. And as you sense the air of anticipation down in Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, let's look back at the action to date, which took place at Veterans Stadium. Philadelphia answered the bell in Game 1 as Curt Schilling, the Phillies' most consistent starter this year, struck out the first 5 Braves he faced, a new LCS record. His counterpart, Steve Avery, was also sailing along until this pitch sailed away in the 6th. John Kruk scored to give the Phils a 3-2 lead. Then in the top of the 9th.
And there's a double play, one hopper. Batiste threw it away! Into the game for defense. He threw it into right field.
Yes, but the gods of baseball who taketh away also giveth.
Down the line, fair ball! Into the left field corner. Kruk around to score, and Kim Batiste goes from goat to hero in a matter of minutes.
What do you say when you saw the ball go past the third baseman?
Thank you, Jesus.
Tonight was an important game, but it's not the end of the series, believe me. So come out tomorrow and have a good game tomorrow and take it back to Atlanta and hopefully end it there, ideally.
Talk about ideal games for Atlanta. They just don't get any better than Game 2. Fred McGriff became the 7th player to reach the upper deck at the vet. And what an upper this vet has provided. Here's Blauser showing a little pop. And the hits just kept on coming, a record-tying 6 in a row. Damon drove home 3 more Runyons, and it was 8-zip in the 3rd. Pendleton made it 9-2 in the 5th, and this was more than enough support for Cy Young favorite Greg Maddux. He was quite simply tougher than nails. When all the smoke finally cleared, the Braves had tied the NLCS record with 16 hits and set a league championship series record by scoring, count them, 14 runs.
I think the biggest factor for us is that we do have talent here, but I think the even bigger factor is the fact that we know we can win. We really feel we can win every time out.
We got the bleep kicked out of us tonight. That's it. And we're going to be ready to play when we go down there Saturday.
You know, this time around town, I got to spend some time with those Philadelphia guys, and I really enjoy those guys, and I'm struck by their team spirit. I know all teams have spirit, but they seem to take it to another level.
They have a lot of fun playing the game, and that's the way it should be, Pat. You see them out on the baseball field, and they're together. They got a lot of spirit. They got a lot of unity, and I'm going to tell you something. They're tough. They're tough outs, and they really feast on secondary pitching. When they get that starting pitcher out of the game, they can score a lot of runs on you.
On the other side, Terry Pendleton and I were talking the other night on the air if Atlanta had any weaknesses at all, and he couldn't find any, but you think they might have one weakness.
Oh, I've said it all year long. It's their bullpen. If their bullpen can come through, they're going to be outstanding. That is the weak part of that ball club as far as I'm concerned.
Let's bring in our man Tim McCarver from Atlanta Fulton County Stadium down in Atlanta, Georgia, and talk about this a little bit. Timmy, nice to see you. Welcome to Baseball 93.
Nice to see you, Patrick. How are you?
I'm great. Good to see you. Listen, everyone talks about the jewels of the Atlanta lineup, but they've got some unsung heroes there, don't they?
Well, they really do. I mean, everybody's going to talk about the 4 heralded starters. They get the most credit, and they deserve the most credit. The next most credit goes to the power hitters, Gant, McGriff, Justice, Pendleton. But I think guys at the top of the order and at the bottom of the order deserve a little more credit. Otis Nixon has been on base 8 of 11 times for the Braves. Jeff Blauser, their fine shortstop, on the other hand, with a solo home run in Game 2. And their catcher, Damon Berryhill, I really think put the Phillies away with the 3-run shot in the big Atlanta six-run inning. And Mark Lemke, everybody knows of his prowess in postseason past.
Well, Timmy, I like that, but the guy I like to talk about, and I'm sure you do, is Jeff Blauser. I think he's done a tremendous job for that ball club. Look at the averages he put up as far as his shortstop is concerned.
Not only the average, a 305 average, 110 runs scored and 85 RBIs. How many times do you get that much offensive production out of a guy who can make all the plays defensively, Tommy?
Timmy, thanks. We'll see you later today.
All right, Pat.
As usual, you are the man. Thanks for joining us. Tom Glavine and Terry Mulholland today on the mound. When we come back here, we'll screen the latest remake of the Philadelphia story. And from the early reviews, it's clear that this version is sorely lacking in grace. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Good morning, Wendy's. Monterey Ranch chicken sandwich. You want it back?
Hi, Gladys.
Good morning.
The phone's been ringing off the hook. What's this?
Monterey Ranch. Monterey Ranch. Monterey Ranch. Monterey.
I'm sorry I asked.
We got the hint, so it's back. Creamy ranch dressing with real bacon and Monterey Jack cheese on a whole breast fillet.
Where you going, buddy? Inside. I'm Dave Thomas. Right. And I'm the Queen of France. Back in the line.
Come try Wendy's Monterey Ranch chicken sandwich, but come early.
It may come as some surprise that a man actually ran a grueling 26-mile marathon in a pair of dress shoes. It will come as no surprise. They were Rockports. Rockport. You should be in our shoes.
What tire do you trust in the wet? A tire that removes over 2 gallons of water per second from under the tread. The all-season MX4. Another engineering splash from Michelin.
I'm getting older, so I have to push myself just a little bit harder.
Introducing a new, hard-working power stick. Now with more odor fighters per stroke than ever.
Hey, that's better for me and everybody else.
New power stick from Fabergé, the most powerful power stick ever.
When we asked some denture wearers why they don't use an adhesive, they didn't have a lot to say. Don't need it.
My dentures fit fine. No problems here.
But after we gave them Fix-A-Dent, they just couldn't say enough.
It's amazing, the difference. It's a great new feeling of security.
Comfort.
Confidence.
I just plain forget I have them.
That's because Fix-A-Dent adjusts to the unique contours of your dentures and gums, forming a thin, powerful seal for a better hold than you ever thought possible.
I could just kick myself for not doing this sooner.
Find out for yourself what it feels like to Fix-A-Dent and forget it.
Okay, Sunday, you've got the Cowboys and the Colts.
A very interesting matchup.
Have you seen Emmitt Smith?
He's putting the ball in the end zone.
Honey, how about some more dip?
Sure.
Here's the deal. Sunday, you've got the Cowboys and the Colts, the Giants, Redskins, or the Bears and the Eagles on CBS. We're big fans.
Have you told him yet?
Of course not, dear.
We're big fans.
Nearing game time, down in Atlanta, there's Phillies manager Jim Fregosi. He's been at the center of the, shall we say, Animal House atmosphere. You might think of Fregosi as baseball's answer to Dean Wormer. He tried to maintain order amidst the chaos of the mythical Faber College fraternity. Now, those of you who've been following the Phillies all season long, and even as they split the first 2 games of the NLCS, have watched a team that can be good one minute, bad the next, and both in victory and defeat. A team that can, well, just be plain ugly. Like the little girl with the curl, when they were good, those Phillies were very good. But when they were bad, they had nothing to fear but, well, themselves.
Mister, I don't know any of those names.
Well, if you don't know their names, what about those faces? And here's where it starts to get a little hairy on a scraggly team of scrappers who sometimes appear to have bitten off more than they can chew.
Believe me, I'd like to get a haircut, and I'd like to shave, but they won't let me. You know, when you got Hollins and Dalton telling you that if you get your hair cut or you shave, they're going to kill you, you know, it kind of makes you stay away from the barber and the razor.
Yeah, all those guys, I don't know. I'm the most normal of the group. I tend to stick to my business and go out and play baseball every day, but we do have some guys that beat to a little bit of a different drum.
Some say the Phillies are the spitting image of another misfit menagerie. Throwbacks to Dizzy, Daffy, Ducky, and Pepper, that old gas house gang in St. Louis who hustled to a World Series title in 1934. But hey, heck, boom. Here's the thing about these guys. They're all Madden team material, especially since they've got all that girth to go with all that mirth. So who are these guys anyway? And why are they the best unkempt secret in baseball?
What has this team got with
with facial hair and what's going on with it?
Didn't shave today either.
But I mean, is it a thing with the team? They just kind of have a different look?
I don't think that's by design. I think just, I know, speaking from a personal standpoint, I'm too damn lazy to shave. And a couple of these other characters out here probably are too.
Baseball ought to market those characters. How are they looking Dodger blue?
Hey, if they wore Dodger blue, they couldn't wear those beards, not long hair, and I don't like earrings.
Boy, you tell him to cut his, you tell John Kruk to cut his hair?
Yes, sir, and I'll tell you another thing. The thing I like about that ball club, they get those uniforms dirty. That's what I like, and they love to play, and they're good ball players.
All right, Tommy, our time is up, and for the Phillies and Braves, it's almost time to play ball. For Tommy Lasorda, I'm Pat O'Brien. Thanks for watching. Sean McDonough and Tim McCarver join you from Atlanta right after this word from your very own local station. Enjoy the game, everybody. Thanks, Tommy. Good job.
Thank you, Pat.
The best in entertainment. A chance to win a Chevrolet S-Series pickup and see what's new on CBS. Hot Picks, a free rental at Blockbuster Video.
This is CBS.
Some area supermarkets are selling outdated foods, Monday at 5 and 11.
There was a time when a handshake was like a contract. And the only promises you made were the ones you could keep. Well, Bob Evans is still that way. We promise that our family recipe with its lean cuts and special spices is the best tasting sausage you can buy. Or we'll give you your money back. My personal promise, plain and simple. Best tasting or your money back. Can't keep a promise better than that.
Can you hear anything? What? Can you hear me? Huh? You can't hear anything, can you?
How can I hear if you're going to put these in my ears like that? I mean, after all, I can't hear if you got them on my ears.
Huh?
Oh, hold me closer. Closer. Closer.
I'll hold you any closer, I'll be in back of you.
This gift is from Jackie. Oh, golly, oh, shucks. I hope that you like it. It costs $40.
All other husbands have their wives behind them. Napoleon had Josephine behind him. George Washington had Martha behind him. Mark Antony had Cleopatra behind him. What have I got behind me? Don't you dare!
U.S. Healthcare, a health plan for living.
This afternoon, the National League Championship Series shifts to a familiar setting, Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, where the Braves host the Phillies in Game 3. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Atlanta. I'm Sean McDonough, along with Tim McCarver, and it's great to have you with us for this important Game 3 with the series tied at 1 win apiece. And what an appealing pitching matchup today, a pair of quality left-handers for the Phillies, Terry Mulholland, for the Braves, Tom Glavine. Both were all-stars in 1993, but their pitching styles are different.
Well, they're very different, as a matter of fact. Terry Mulholland, very unpredictable in the strike zone. He'll throw cut fastballs inside to right-handers, an occasional sinker away, a curveball, and a good slider. On the other hand, Tommy Glavine, one of the few successful pitchers around, that's predictable. Almost always the right-handed hitters know where the ball's going to be, what area. It's going to be away. And when Tommy gets ahead of them, then he goes farther away. That's why it's very important for Tommy Glavine to have an umpire behind the plate with a very liberal strike zone, and he's got one today in Terry Tata.
Indeed, he does. Of these 6 veteran umpires working this series, Tata would best be classified as the pitcher's umpire. Over the last 4 years in games he's worked behind the plate, there have been more than 2 strikeouts for every walk. That could affect the Phillies, who walked more than any other team in the National League this year. Glavine against Mulholland in Game 3 of the NLCS. We'll have the first pitch from Atlanta right after this.
CBS Sports coverage of Game 3 of the National League Championship Series is brought to you by your GM Goodwrench dealer. Hey, we want your business. Dean Witter. Dean Witter measures success one investor at a time. And by Kellogg's, the best to you each morning.
Introducing a cereal from Kellogg's. Kellogg's Corn Flakes. Taste them again for the first time.
What's the difference between Diet Dr. Pepper and regular Dr. Pepper? Can't see the difference, can't hear it. The amazing thing is you probably can't taste the difference either. Discover what millions already have, the great taste of Diet Dr. Pepper.
My dandruff shampoo is good.
Better try something else. Mine really works.
You'd better try something else, like Selsun Blue. Doctors recommend it more than all leading brands. Selsun Blue. Doctor recommended #1.
Dean Witter believed every success story was unique.
We have a sacred trust to protect our investors.
Whether it's the success of a small business,
To maintain conservative policies.
saving for college,
To put the interest of our clients first.
or planning an early retirement. From getting in on the ground floor to getting all the way to the top, Dean Witter is there to help every client make it every step of the way. Dean Witter.
We measure success one investor at a time.
Rangers, Cherokees, Broncos, Explorers, Pathfinders, Blazers. Any pickup or 4x4, on-road or off. Introducing the tough new LTX Light Truck Series from Michelin.
Jim Fragosi's lineup for Game 3 has Lenny Dykstra leading off in center field. Mariano Duncan back in the starting lineup at second base. John Kruk, the first baseman, hits third. The cleanup hitter is third baseman Dave Hollins. Batting fifth, the catcher Darren Dalton. Batting sixth in left field, Pete Incaviglia. The right fielder Wes Chamberlain bats seventh. Hitting eighth, the shortstop Kevin Stocker, and the pitcher Terry Mulholland bats ninth. As Pat O'Brien told you during Baseball 93, it is a delightful day here in the capital of Georgia. 81 degrees, the temperature as we approach game time. It's expected to get up into the mid-80s this afternoon, and a very light breeze blowing out towards center field. It is supposed to be similarly nice tomorrow and Monday for games 4 and 5 of the National League Championship Series.
There's an even stronger breeze blowing out now.
Phillies trying to rebound from game 2 after their 4-3 victory in 10 innings in game 1. They were pounded 14-3 in game 2 at the Vet. And as Jim Fregosi says, each game is separate. There is no carryover effect. There is no momentum regardless of the score. And that is the attitude the Phillies will take into today's game with them. The umpires working this one. We mentioned Terry Tata, considered the pitcher's umpire behind the plate. Jim Quick at first base, Jerry Crawford at second, Joe West at third, Bruce Fremming down the left field line, and Frank Pulley is in right. And the Braves take the field before a full house at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium.
Backing up Tommy Glavine will be Ron Gant, who led the major leagues in errors by an outfielder with 11. Otis Nixon can flat track down a fly ball in center field. David Justice will be in right field. Perry Pendleton, the MVP in the National League 2 years ago, at third. Jeff Blauser at shortstop, and Mark Lemke at second base. Fred McGriff, the first baseman. Damon Berryhill behind the plate. And Tom Glavine, who had a 22-6 record this year, that tied him for the most wins with John Burkett of the San Francisco Giants. He also led the majors in starts with 36, and he has led the National League in wins for the last 3 years. He won the Cy Young Award 2 years ago. That was the year that the Braves lost in 7 to the Minnesota Twins in the World Series.
And he is considered a leading candidate to win the Cy Young Award again this year. Tom said, I would certainly like to win it, and if I don't win it, I better finish second behind Greg Maddux. In the opinion of Glavine, they are the only 2 legitimate contenders for the Cy Young Award in the National League this year. At the beginning of game one, we spoke of the importance of the leadoff hitters in this series, and while Lenny Dykstra's numbers have been adequate during the first two games, the MVP through the first two games has been Otis Nixon.
I don't think there is any question about it. As a matter of fact, an interesting note, Otis Nixon is 2 for 3 with runners in scoring position, and the Philadelphia Phillies as a team have only 2 hits with runners in scoring position. So Nixon's doing it all.
But Dykstra gets his first chance this afternoon, leading off the first inning. He hit .305 during the regular year with 19 homers, and he drove in 66. He led the league with 194 hits. Dykstra, Duncan, and Kruk in the top of the first in game 3. Glavine is ready. He's looking for his first ever win in League Championship Series play. Over the last 2 years, he's gone a combined 0-4 in the National League Championship Series. And if there's been one criticism of Tom Glavine, and it really makes him cringe, is that he doesn't rise to the occasion when the games mean the most. An analysis of his overall record indicates that that really is an unfair knock. But those numbers speak for themselves in League Championship Series play. And his first pitch is a strike. Dykstra 2 for 8. He went 1 for 4 in game 1 and 1 for 4 in game 2. He had a home run in the late innings that turned a 14-2 score into the final of 14-3. That's a strike, says Joe West, and Glavine is quickly ahead 0-2.
Dykstra didn't think he went around. We'll check it out. Yeah, he went too far. Breaking ball from Glavine, and that is a breaking ball that left-handers will see a lot, but not so right-handed hitters.
Strike 3. Dykstra gone on 3 pitches to open the ball game.
We talked about how Terry Tata is a very liberal umpire. And Tom Glavine, I'll tell you, if he gets pitches like this all afternoon, it is going to be a long day for the Philly batters. Right on the corner. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night to Dykstra. But as you can see, that's a liberal strike zone right there.
Ball certainly appeared to be off the plate from that angle. And here's Duncan. He took a breaking ball for a strike. 4 pitches and 4 strikes thrown by Glavine. Duncan back in the lineup after starting game 1 and sitting out game 2. Mickey Morandini started the second game at second base. 5 straight strikes thrown by Glavine to Duncan, who had 257 during the regular season, and who went 1 for 5 with a first inning single in game 1 off Steve Avery.
Change up here, and that is the pattern that Glavine will have. He will come in ever so occasionally to right-handed batters, and when he misses, he will miss in off the plate. But his staple pitches, fastball and changeup on the outside corner to right-handers.
Barry Hill sets up out there again. Duncan chased a ball that might have been off the plate. 2 down as Lemke throws him out. But really, that's the dilemma of which we were speaking for the Phillies hitters at the top of the broadcast. They are collectively a patient lot, led the league in walks by a long shot. Collectively, they have a good eye, but with Terry Tata behind the plate, likely to give Glavine those pitches slightly off the plate. Do you swing or do you take it?
Well, with 2 strikes, you're forced to swing because you can't be called out. But Tommy Glavine is a master, probably better than anybody in the National League, at getting hitters out on balls out of the strike zone.
2 outs and nobody on in the top of the first, and the batter is John Kruk. Tried to check his swing. It was much too late. Kruk, a .316 hitter during the regular season. That was 8th best in the National League. And he's 3 for 7 in the first 2 games of the LCS. To left field, can't start it in. Then a couple of steps back. And the Phillies go in order in the first. After a half inning in Atlanta, Philadelphia nothing, and the Braves coming up.
to attack the courses. You've got to master the machinery. You've got to use all your resources.
It's not really that difficult to earn the name Goodwrench.
All it takes is all you've got.
Goodwrench, raising the standards of performance on the track and in your GM dealership.
Genuine Drafts 1992 IndyCar champion Bobby Rahal. When we said he was flying, we weren't lying.
You need two hands to count all the special rates and discounts on Allstate car insurance for more than one car. Pickup trucks, anti-lock brakes, airbags. Good drivers, excellent drivers with Allstate home insurance. And retired drivers over 55. Just pick up a phone and call an Allstate agent for details. For lots of ways to save, you're in good hands with Allstate.
Tom Cruise. Let me drive.
Robert Duvall.
Crash coming out of turn 4. Tell me what's going on!
Nicole Kidman.
He's fine and cat scanning.
Torn between his passion for a woman.
I was desperate to get your attention.
And a lust for speed.
You are selfish and you're scared.
The network television premiere.
You're gonna get him killed!
Days of Thunder, Tuesday.
Bobby Cox has a slightly different look to his lineup this afternoon. He has Otis Nixon leading off as usual in center field. Jeff Blauser batting second at shortstop. Ron Gant is the left fielder hitting third. The cleanup hitter is Fred McGriff, the first baseman. The change this afternoon, Pendleton and Justice have flip-flopped. Pendleton batting fifth at third base, and Justice down one slot to sixth in right field. Damon Berryhill, the catcher, bats seventh. Mark Lemke at second base hits eighth, and the pitcher, Tommy Glavine, bats ninth.
On the mound for the Phillies, he won 12 and lost 9 this year. Terry Mulholland, he has pitched only 5 innings in the last 5 weeks. He missed those 5 weeks with a pulled hip flexor muscle. That is right above the groin area. And as we said, he's unpredictable in the strike zone.
Otis Nixon, the standout offensive player of the first 2 games, leads this one off for the Braves. And slaps the first pitch to deep short. Stocker has to hurry, and he gets Nixon by a running step.
The defense for the Phillies, Pete Incaviglia in left field, Lenny Dykstra in center, and Wes Chamberlain in right. Dave Hollins with a strong arm at third, Kevin Stocker at shortstop, Mariano Duncan at second, John Kruk, a fine fielder at first, and Darren Dalton behind the plate.
And Jeff Blauser is the batter. He turned as if to bunt and looked at a ball outside. Blauser at .305 during the regular season. He led all National League shortstop with 15 home runs. And he hit another home run in game 2. Duncan throws him out. So Mulholland has thrown 3 pitches and has recorded 2 outs. Ron Gant digs in. He was a .274 hitter during the regular season, had the best power numbers of his career with the 36 home runs and 117 driven in. It was a hip flexor that gave Mulholland the problem. On his left side, the leg that he uses to drive off the mound. Terry pitched 4 innings in a start at St. Louis last Sunday, allowed only 1 hit and was not scored on in those 4 innings. Jim Fregosi said Mulholland probably could have gone 9 innings in that game if we wanted him to, and Fregosi sees no reason to believe that Mulholland could not go the distance today despite the inactivity over the last month. And for the well-hit ball to center, Dykstra on the run. He looks up, it's off the bottom of the wall. Ron Gant on his way to second with a 2-out double.
know whether Dykstra picked that ball up or not, but it appeared to me that Lenny gave up on the ball too quickly. This ball hits the base of the wall. He's playing Gant very deep to begin with. And watch the time lapse when the ball hits the wall and the time Lenny turned around. With 2 outs, usually an outfielder will try to make that play, realizing it's going to be a double anyway if he allows it to hit the wall. I thought Dykstra gave up on the ball a little too quickly.
Gant, the game's first base runner, with 2 outs in the bottom of the first, and Fred McGriff is the hitter. He took ball 1 low. McGriff hit .291 in 1993's regular season, dividing his time between San Diego and Atlanta. Two balls and no strikes.
That's the thing about all of the Atlanta power hitters. They not only hit for power, they hit for pretty good numbers too. Justice, Gant, Pendleton, McGriff, all right around 270 or higher, plus production in the power department.
Right at the second baseman, Duncan, and he throws out McGriff to end the first. After 1 in Atlanta, there is no score.
Ever wonder why a hamburger costs $10 in Tokyo? Or why a cab to the airport there runs about $120? Or why their luxury cars seem so expensive, especially when compared to the Oldsmobile 88 Special Edition, which, even with air, automatic, cruise, tilt, anti-lock brakes, and dual airbags, cost just $19,995? It's your money.
They say Mozart composed from midnight to 7 a.m. Hemingway was at his best before noon. Edison, inspired by the dark. At Compaq, we understand that ideas aren't governed by a clock. That's why we're standing by 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to answer your computing questions. Galileo, definitely a night person. The 24-hour helpline from Compaq.
Here on the set, when the lights come up and the camera starts to roll, there's no place to hide. And even one flake of dandruff, even one, can ruin it all. That's why I use Head & Shoulders. You know, it's even better than it was just a couple of years ago. Today's Head & Shoulders gets to 10 times more of the places dandruff starts. Put it to the test. Prove it to yourself. Head & Shoulders and Head & Shoulders 2-in-1. Because great hair can't have flakes.
If you demand more from an aftershave than alcohol burn, you gotta try new alcohol-free Sensitive from Old Spice with cooling sensates. It's proof aftershave doesn't have to hurt to work. Take the heat out of aftershave. Demand proof. Try new Sensitive from Old Spice.
Put your heart into it. Be tough. I am not going to pay a lot for this muffler. By George, I think he's got it.
Don't be bullied into paying a lot for a muffler. Now more than ever at Meineke, you're not going to pay a lot, but you'll get a lot.
I guarantee it.
Hey, you kids, get off the field!
Catch actor Matt Dillon and comedian George Miller on Late Show with David Letterman, Monday.
Dave Hollins leads off for the Phillies. Yesterday, Jim Fregosi talked about Dave's intensity.
I have really never seen a player in 30-some years or been with a player or managed a player that has ever worked as hard as he does or plays with the intensity with which he plays. He's awful tough on himself sometimes, but he goes out there, he plays every day and he battles it every day. So he loves to score runs, he runs balls out, and he loves to run the bases. So, I mean, I just have never been around a player that plays with such intensity.
And that covers a lot of ground when you factor in Fergosi's days as a player and as a major league manager. I think the best example of that was back in June when Hollins broke a bone in his hand. It was expected that he'd be out 6 weeks. He was back in 18 days. Two balls and a strike. Hollins, Dalton, and Incaviglia in the second against Glavine. Both pitchers Needed only 9 pitches to get through the first inning. Down to third. Nice backhand play by Pendleton. 1 out. Oh, it's Jim Fregosi who turned Terry Pendleton into a third baseman. Fregosi was his manager in the minors at the time. Terry was a second baseman. Jim probably regrets moving him to third right now.
Well, he turned him into a third baseman, but he didn't teach him to turn like that. Rarely does a third baseman continue turning to his right once he makes this play. You wouldn't think of Terry Pendleton with a lot of balletic moves, but he certainly has those as a third baseman.
Darren Dalton with a first pitch pop up in the direction of Pendleton. And he made the catch in fair territory for the second out. 27 straight games at third without an error. That's a National League Championship Series record, as you might expect, because Terry has also set a record for NLCS games played with his appearance today. This is the 29th National League Championship Series game of Pendleton's career. Here's Pete Incaviglia. He had 274 while platooning in left field with Milt Thompson during the regular season. He bounced it foul down to Larry Boa.
That was a show me curveball right there. Players referred to it as a Missouri curve. I'll guarantee you Incaviglia will not get that pitch again. And Tommy just wanted to show it to him, and he almost made a mistake with it.
Back to the fastball upstairs, and Incaviglia missed it. The only home run any of the current Phillies have in their careers against Tom Glavine belongs to Pete Incaviglia. And he has only 1 round tripper off Glavine. Pete's only hit .235 lifetime against him, an average that goes down as he looked at a called strike 3. 2 perfect innings for Glavine after an inning and a half. No score.
When Oldsmobile tested its 88 LSS against the Acura Legend L and Lexus ES 300, people had a few questions. But after 100,000 miles, they were...
The Phillies are the 93 National League Eastern Division champions.
You're so unbelievable.
The Atlanta Braves win it. This season is over.
You're unbelievable.
A message from Major League Baseball.
Sean McDonough with Tim McCarver and Jim Gray back at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. No score through an inning and a half. Braves coming up with Terry Pendleton, David Justice, and Damon Berryhill against Terry Mulholland. Pendleton, a .272 hitter during the regular season. He finished with a flourish.
And you talked about his prowess as a fielder, and certainly he's a great one. MVP a couple of years ago. But as much as ability, what he gives this team is leadership.
Chopped back to the mound. Mulholland throws him out. Battle between numbers 1 and 3. And number 1 Florida State remained unbeaten. That's a big hurdle for them in their quest to win their first national championship for Coach Bobby Bowden. Of course, Tallahassee, the other place where they are practitioners of the chop.
That's where it started, down there. Migrated north.
David Justice, the hitter. He's still looking for his first hit of the league championship series. He's 0 for 7. Coming off the best regular season of his career.
David, the only starter for both teams without a hit. Very effective hitter against left-handed pitching, however. Worth reiterating that his lifetime average, he's a .294 hitter against left-handers and only .260 against right-handers.
In the air and foul ground off third. Hollins with a tough play, and he made it nicely for the second out of the second inning. Plenty of room and foul ground along the first and third base lines here. Damon Berryhill, the bat with 2 outs and the bases empty. And we take you back to the 3rd inning of Game 2. The 6-run 3rd, capped by the 3-run homer by Damon Berryhill. That came off Bobby Thigpen. And it's Damon's only hit in the first 2 games of this series. He's 1 for 8. Terry Mulholland is 30 years old, a native of Uniontown, Pennsylvania. He now makes his home in Scottsdale, Arizona. Turned it over and missed outside. Sinking fast and right, and that falls in front of Chamberlain for a hit. So for the 2nd consecutive inning, the Braves get a hit with 2 outs, and Berryhill is aboard at first.
Watch how Berryhill gets on top of this high fastball and rifles it to right field. I think the Phillies made 2 important trades in about 48 hours back in 1989. They got Dykstra and McDowell from the Mets, and then they got Mulholland, Charlie Hayes, and Dennis Cook from San Francisco for Steve Bedrosian. Bedrock went over to the Giants. He was in a National League Championship Series that year against the Cubs. Not one pitcher on the Philadelphia staff was reared in the Philadelphia organization. All were obtained either through trades or free agent signings.
The 0-1 to Lemke, chopped over the mound. Stocker with a very tough play. He has no play. And Lemke has an infield hit. His 2nd hit of the series. He's now 2 for 10. And the Braves have 1st and 2nd with 2 outs and no score in the 2nd.
There are a lot of things that a young shortstop has to cope with when he gets used to the artificial surface, and that could be the tricky hops on the regular turf. This ball bouncing back to the right, and Stocker, even though he fielded it properly, couldn't make a play.
And that's the reason that the Phillies worked out here yesterday while the Braves took the day off and did not practice. Jim Fergosi's team hasn't played on natural grass in 3 weeks, and he wanted them to adjust to the natural surface. Tom Glavine is the hitter. We want to correct the score that we showed you moments ago. The football game is not quite over. Less than 3 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. The score was correct, 28-10, and Florida State is apparently on its way to victory. We gave them that victory prematurely moments ago. 1-1 on Glavine. A decent hitter at 173 this season. He had 14 hits and 81 times up. Drove in 3 runs. He also walked 4 times. He's a good athlete. By now, many of you know that he was drafted in the 4th round of the NHL draft several years ago by the Los Angeles Kings. Two balls and 1 strike. Bobby Cox. The win in Game 2 was his 9th in National League Championship Series play, and only 3 managers have more wins in NLCS competition. Glavine dribbled it down to first. Kruk made the play. Those managers are guys named Lasorda, Anderson, and Herzog. After 2 in Atlanta, no score.
This year during the World Series, Budweiser will bring you the game within the game. The Budweiser World Series Classic. To play, go to your favorite store, look for this sign, and pick up an official game card. Then catch the Budweiser Classic play during each game of the World Series. Each one's worth $100,000. Who knows? You could make the greatest play of the series.
Nice catch.
They say good pitching beats good hitting any day. The Achieva Special Edition by Oldsmobile. Check out this slow curve. How about a backdoor slider? Here comes one all loaded up. Yeah, And here comes the money pitch. It's your call.
I'm getting older, so I have to push myself just a little bit harder.
Introducing a new, hard-working Power Stick. Now with more odor fighters per stroke than ever.
Hey, that's better for me and everybody else.
New Power Stick from Fabergé, the most powerful Power Stick ever.
Hi, let's pretend I'm a Red Roof Inn. See? All of me are alike. That's because all Red Roof Inns are company-owned, never franchised, so you always get the same great room at a great price. Right? Right.
Hit the roof. Red Roof Inns.
Their dreams sent the world to war. I'm General Norman Schwarzkopf.
And I'm Charles Kurov. Join us as we look back at Hitler and Stalin, Wednesday.
Do you want to get rich?
$2 million.
Do you want to get even?
I hope it breaks the state.
See you in court. An all-new 48 Hours, Wednesday.
CBS Sports coverage of Game 3 of the National League Championship Series is brought to you by Oldsmobile. Budweiser, fresh, pure, natural, proud to be your bud. And by Enterprise Rent-A-Car, the special delivery company.
This is the only stadium in the National League that has two different backgrounds. One for the hitter. It presents no problem for a hitter. However, this is the background for the catcher, Barry Hill, and for Darren Dalton, who is squatting, remember, when they're receiving the ball. So the black background for the hitter who is standing, no problem. But for the catcher, especially when you consider those shadows and the catcher is looking up from that squatting position, it can be a problem, even on routine pitches.
And sometimes a problem for the umpires as well, as they are squatting over the catcher's shoulder. Wes Chamberlain leads off. He started in Game 1 when Atlanta started the left-handed Steve Avery. Those scores, we go to the third. Tom Glavine has pitched 2 perfect innings, and his first pitch of the third is a strike. Chamberlain had an excellent Game 1. He went 2 for 3 with 2 doubles before being removed for defense, replaced by Jim Eisenreich. Bottom third of the order, Chamberlain, Stocker, and Mulholland coming up.
The interesting thing about Chamberlain and the defense of the Braves, 44 of his 63 hits have been pull hits, and you have Otis Nixon in right center field. I think the reason for that, once again, is that Glavine's going to stay away to right-handers.
He stayed away, and Chamberlain dribbled it along the first base line. Glavine threw him out. 1 out in the third. Glavine, as Tim mentioned, a 20-game winner in each of the last 3 years. He has led the league in wins in each of those 3 seasons. And Tom's the first pitcher to win 20 or more in 3 straight years. Jim Palmer, 75, 76, and 77. He led the American League in wins those 3 years. Tom's the first National League pitcher to lead the league in wins 3 years in a row since Hall of Famer Warren Spahn did it in 5 consecutive seasons back in the late 50s and early 60s. Kevin Stocker, the hitter. He looked at ball 1. That .324 average, a big surprise. He was called up at midseason, was only hitting .233 in the minors at the time of his recall. Check swing, and a base hit over the head of Fred McGriff. Stocker will try for 2. Justice does not have a play. It's a stand-up check swing double for Kevin Stocker, his second hit of the series.
I have never known a hitter to give one of these types of hits back. Hitters have a saying, they all even up. Well, this is a little check swing nudge to right field, down the right field line, and a double for Kevin Stocker. That's his second hit of the series.
Now Terry Mulholland, and it is safe to say with those numbers that he is not a good hitter. He's been in the major leagues for at least a part of 7 different seasons, many of them complete seasons. It has only 32 major league hits. This year he had only 4 hits. He went 4 for 62.
Matter of fact, he is the 3rd worst hitter in the history of Major League Baseball with pitchers who have 300 or more at bats. The worst, you might ask, Dean Chance. Second worst, Bill Hands of the Chicago Cubs.
You could say Dean had no chance, and Bill apparently had no hands when he was at the plate. We weren't lying. It was the final score.
You knew
28-10. Yes, it was just. Actually, I called Dionne Warwick on the Psychic Friends hotline, and they told me it would end 28-10.
Showing your prescience once again.
The only two pitchers who batted at least 40 times this year in the National League who had a lower average than Mulholland were Charlie Huff, who had .032, and Mike Morgan, who had .061. It's highly unlikely that Mulholland will get a hit. And that pitch is not called a strike this time. Just a little bit off the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, Holland is, however, batting with a bat that looks like he's a hitter. I mean, that bat's got a lot of marks on it. Usually a bad hitter has a bat with no marks on it.
Must be someone else's bat.
Yeah.
For the 2-2 pitch. And the count is full. Certainly the last thing Glavine wants to do is walk Mulholland. Lenny Dykstra will bat next. Mulholland did not drive in a run this year. He has a chance to do so now with Stocker at second. And 1 out in the third. No score in the ball game. It's game 3 of the NLCS. The series tied at 1 win apiece. Mulholland hit a ground ball to short. It moves the runner 90 feet as Blauser throws out Mulholland. 2 down, Stocker at third. We're at sold out Atlanta Fulton County Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia, home of the Atlanta Braves. For game 3 of the NLCS. No score with 2 outs in the top of the third. The Phillies have Kevin Stocker at third base, and Lenny Dykstra coming up. Sean McDonough with Tim McCarver and Jim Gray. Our producer Bob Dekas. Our director Bob Fishman. Dykstra looked at a called third strike leading off the ball game. He struck out on 3 pitches. And Glavine has thrown nothing but strikes still to Dykstra.
Dykstra looking back at Terry Tata. You may remember the 0-2 pitch that Lenny was called out on the first time up. He thought it was outside, and he thought that ball was high.
Glavine's 0-1 is low. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Might look at Dykstra. He is short of stature, but he is a big guy. When he graduated from high school, he only weighed 140 pounds. You might think, well, he's a leadoff guy, short guy, but look at those arms. I mean, he's got some set of guns on him.
A pop-up in shallow center for Otis Nixon. And the Phillies leave Stocker at third. We'll return to Atlanta Fulton County Stadium after this message and a word from your local station.
A carjacker forces a deadly confrontation.
I don't think he's a criminal. I will not call it self-defense.
You hate guns. I hate the thought of being carjacked.
In a season premiere as shocking as today's headlines.
You crossed the line.
Emmy winner Tom Skerritt and Emmy winner Kathy Baker return in the Emmy-winning Best Dramatic Series. CBS invites you to experience television's best. Picket Fences, coming Fridays.
This is CBS.
Murphy, that package you sent to Denver, it never got there.
Introducing tracking software from Federal Express.
Well, it was picked up at 5:20 last night, and it was delivered at 9:42 a.m. and signed for by Kate Donovan. Shall I call her for you, sir?
Never mind. Now you can track packages right from your computer on your desk.
My
years in football taught me the value of a great health plan. Hello, I'm Dick Vermeil. Everyday life has its bumps and bruises, too. And that's why Independence Blue Cross and Pennsylvania Blue Shield have added the new personal choice to our game plan.
There's no need to enroll with a primary care physician, and you don't need a referral to see a specialist. Office visits are covered, and there are no claim forms. Now, what could be easier?
Call 1-800-ASK-BLUE for all the benefits of personal choice. The health plan that controls cost, not people.
Last year, Ford Motor Company had 5 of the 10 best-selling new cars and trucks in America. And to help keep your car running like new, we designed quality care preventive maintenance. Everything from changing your oil and filter to brake jobs and shocks. It's a level of care you won't find anywhere but your Ford dealer. Quality care, where the quality continues.
Quality care. Another reason why your Quality Plus Ford dealers are #1.
Ron Burke, sports, part of the Channel 10 news team, weeknights at 11.
No score as we head to the bottom of the third here in Atlanta. Sean McDonough along with Tim McCarver. And the good news to this point for Phillies fans is that Terry Mulholland certainly isn't showing any signs of the hip bothering him or of the inactivity being a problem.
2 two-out base hits, one by Ron Gant in the first inning and the other by Damon Berryhill. But he has gotten the leading lady, and pitching coaches like that. Even though the Braves do have 3 hits, Mark Lemke's hit an infield hit. And if you retire the first batter in the inning, that's what most pitchers try to do. Baseball, a game of first when you think about it.
Long way to go for Duncan to get Nixon, and he did. Nice play by Mariano Duncan, ranging to his right. Let's check in with Jim Gray.
All right, thank you, Sean. I'm with Bill Bartholomew. He's the chairman of the Braves. He's also the chairman of the search committee, and they're looking for a commissioner now for the 2nd straight postseason. What's taking so long, Bill?
Well, we have to get it right, Jim. We have an opportunity here to set the course for baseball in the 21st century, and we've had an inclusive search in and outside the game. And we have a great leader in Bud Selig right now.
Is the thought to try and keep Bud Selig on, even though he said he's opposed?
Well, I think it would be wonderful. He's doing an outstanding job. He's brought the ownerships together. We're doing some constructive things. And yet he has his own franchise to run, and we all respect that, too. So I just hope he'll stay with us until we get the right answer.
You're down now to 5 candidates, I understand. When do you expect to name one?
Well, I think towards the end of November, we can get our job done correctly and get all the background on these handful of candidates we have left. I think we'll be able to make a good announcement then.
Who are those 5?
Oh, I can't tell you that, Jim. I can't tell you.
Will you confirm the names we give you?
No, I can't even do that because there's some wonderful candidates out there and in and out of the game.
The question really becomes at this point, has baseball lost some credibility by not having a leader and somebody who is an effective commissioner in office?
Well, we do have a leader in Bud Selig, and our executive council is working better than ever before in baseball. I've been in it 27 years, so it's not like we have an emptiness there. We have ownership who have big investments in this game who are taking an interest in the workings of the game. And that's, I think, it's helped this wonderful season we've had. We've had 2 great expansion teams with record attendance. We've had a great pennant race. And here we are.
All right, Bill, thank you very much.
Great being with you.
Thank you. Timmy and Sean, you got any names?
I know Mr. McCarver does, as Mulholland stabs the comebacker from Blauser, and he threw him out for the 2nd out of the inning.
Well, I think it's pretty clear that baseball is not going to allow whomever the new commissioner is to be responsible for any of the contracts that are going to be made, the TV contracts, the business part of the game. So really, it's going to be a roving ambassador of sorts. What about Tommy Lasorda? He's got 1 more year with the Los Angeles Dodgers. I can think of no better ambassador, and not because he's on our show today. Matter of fact, we were talking about this a couple of weeks ago.
Yes, we were.
If that is the job, who's a better ambassador than Lasorda? Tommy's not going to want to get involved in contracts after he hangs them up as a manager anyway. He's had enough of that.
Ron Gant fouled a couple of pitches away. Gant doubled off the bottom of the wall in center field with 2 outs in the first inning and was stranded at second. Well, as Bill Bartholomew just said, the owners, because of their investment, in his opinion, should be as actively involved as they are now in running the game. So that would seem to indicate that they wouldn't give the commissioner those sorts of all-encompassing powers.
Right.
Gant strikes out, a 1-2-3 inning for Mulholland. After 3, no score.
You fill me with wonder
always a comfort. You set my spirit free. You're the part of me that's the heart of me. Dr. Pepper, you're a part of me.
I've been thinking about buying an American car. The GM MasterCard was a tremendous incentive. 5% on every purchase really adds up. I work hard at my job. You've got to make every dollar count. I love my kids. My wife and I are going to be the biggest influence in their lives. The 5% I earned with the GM card definitely saved me money when I leased my Pontiac Grand Am. Being a father changes your priorities.
The GM card with no annual fee. To apply, watch your mail for details.
Hey, isn't that a Monterey Ranch chicken sandwich?
Yeah, we just brought it back.
Hey, isn't that your wife?
Where?
Ooh, could that dress get any tighter?
It's back. Wendy's Monterey Ranch Chicken Sandwich.
Hey, isn't that Haley's comment?
Creamy ranch dressing with real bacon and Monterey Jack cheese on a whole breast filet. What a combination.
What's my wife doing here?
Where?
Two can play this game.
Wendy's Monterey Ranch Chicken Sandwich. You better buy two.
Today's office doesn't always come with four walls, so no matter where your employees do business, AT&T has a way to help. Call now for the AT&T Corporate Calling Card. We can customize a plan from over 70 features like flexible billing by location, individual, or account code, fraud protection, discounts up to 40%, and worldwide access. The AT&T Corporate Calling Card. Find out how customized a calling card can be.
We're under budget. We're ahead of schedule.
This game summary is sponsored by AT&T.
As you might expect with these all-star lefties on the mound, it has been a pitcher's duel. No score after 3 innings. Glavine has shut out the Phillies on 1 hit. Mulholland has surrendered 3 hits. The Braves have stranded 3, but all 3 of those men reached base with 2 outs. Mariano Duncan begins the 4th. He lined the first pitch to center. Nixon on the run, can't get it. It rolls all the way to the warning track and to the wall, retrieved by Gant. At least 3 for Duncan. He'll round third and be held by Larry Boa. A triple leading off the inning for Mariano Duncan.
First 2 games of the series, we talked about the overshift of the Atlanta Braves outfield. This ball is almost hit to straightaway center field. Bobby Cox telling us before the game that they have charts on all the hitters, and rarely are those charts wrong. Well, in this instance, Glavine gets too much of the plate, and Duncan is able to pull it enough to get it by Nixon.
Bobby Cox said that's the key when you're going to play a dramatic shift, because that's what the charts indicate. The pitchers have to pitch with the defense as well.
And you've got to have an outfielder, particularly a center fielder, that can run very well, and Nixon can.
Kruk, a high drive to deep right field. Certainly deep enough to get 1 run in. Maybe better than that. It's off the top of the wall. Kruk will get at least 2. He's heading for third. Back-to-back triples for Philadelphia. And the Phillies lead 1-0.
The Philadelphia Phillies had only gotten 3 of their leadoff men on in 22 innings. 2 pitches, 2 triples here in the 4th. And now Bobby Cox could bring the infield in. It looked like David Justice thought he had the ball, and then he put it into second gear. But the ball hits off the top of the wall. It missed by about 2 feet from going out of here. 2 pitches, 2 triples.
And the infield is in with Kruk at third and Hollins at the plate. He looked at ball 1 outside. 1-0 Philadelphia in the top of the 4th, and the hits now even at 3 apiece. All 3 Philadelphia hits for extra bases. The check swing double by Stocker last inning, the 2 triples here in the 4th. This is the first time in League Championship Series history that there have been 2 consecutive triples.
Wow. 2 pitches, too.
The 2-0. He swung at ball 3 and pulled it to short. The runner is still at third with one out as Hollins was thrown out by Blauser. That'll bring up Darren Dalton. And here's Doug Drabeck's scouting report on the Philadelphia catcher.
Darren Dalton. He can drive the ball to all fields. He's a smart hitter. You need to mix your location and your pitches up on him. For a power hitter, he's very patient, and he's willing to take a base on balls.
As are most of the Philly batters, leading the National League in walks as a team.
Dalton popped to third his first time up today, meaning that he's now 9 for 25 lifetime against Glavine. That's still a healthy 360 average. One ball and one strike. They're a little bit deeper in the middle infield now for Dalton.
Well, that's because Kruk is not a fast runner at third base. With an infield like this, two pretty strong arms at second and short, you can play halfway and still get John Kruk at the plate. Reason that baseball is a game of first. If the leadoff batter in an inning gets on base, the chances that he'll score are 51%. If he gets on base with one out, the chances drop to 16%. That's why it is so important to get the leadoff hitter. But Glavine hasn't done it here.
That's back to the mound. Glavine looks Kruk back to third and throws out Dalton. Well, the Phillies got the run in with nobody out, and Kruk was at third base. Now he's still at third with two outs, and the situation's looking brighter for Bobby Cox.
Thing about Glavine, too, with a runner on at third base and two outs, for the most part, you don't worry about wild pitches that much. Tommy is not the type of pitcher that throws a lot of wild pitches. He only has 4 this year, and that's because of his style of pitching of working fastball and changeup away to right-handers.
Away to Incaviglia in ball one. Inky was called out on strikes, ending the second. We're in the fourth, and the Phillies lead Tom Glavine and the Braves 1-0. But if Glavine gets out of this inning, having allowed just the one run, he and the Braves will get a lift.
The pitchers that you worry about with a runner on at third base and two outs are pitchers that rely on breaking balls that go down or split finger fastballs. A guy like John Smoltz, who's going to pitch tomorrow night for Atlanta.
Off the end of the bat and a foul ball over the Braves dugout. 1-1 on Incaviglia. Boy, wouldn't want to be sitting next to that fan. They turn around in a hurry to put an eye out with that thing. Probably tell which way the wind is blowing with that, though. Look like
Sit to his right.
Weather, yes. Hope he doesn't bounce around too much during the game. In the air to center. Should be a routine play for Nixon. And it is, and the Phillies settle for just the one run in the fourth after 3.5. 1-0 Philadelphia.
Andre and Michelle, 2 Europeans, are going to tour America and sample the best the New World offers. They'll drive the Buick Park Avenue Ultra, a car with some features they've never seen on European models, with a supercharged engine that can quench even a European's thirst for assertive power. They'll see America in the world's most aptly named car, Ultra from Buick, the new symbol for quality in America.
The thing is, 2 scoops of raisins make Kellogg's Raisin Bran taste so good, people forget it's good for them. What do you think?
Tastes good.
And?
It's delicious.
That's the same thing. See, it's Kellogg's, remember, so it tastes good and it's good for you.
Right, I forgot.
That's all right. Let's try again.
It tastes good.
And?
It's tasty.
And?
It's really tasty.
There are 2 reasons to eat Kellogg's Raisin Bran. The taste.
And?
Love her, hold her, and remember our simple formula. At Dean Witter,
We measure success one investor at a time.
Airbags, seat belts,
anti-lock brakes, child safety seats, careful driving, and a set of Michelins.
Now, when I was a young boy,
Cold filter, Miller Genuine Draft. For those who've discovered its smooth draft taste, the world is a very cool place.
the greatest rain alive. But now I'm a man, way past 21.
Sunday on CBS.
Emmitt Smith back in the end zone for the Cowboys.
But the Colts defense is very aggressive.
Great interconference matchup.
We're big fans.
Today's overhead shots are courtesy of the Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes based in Pompano Beach, Florida. And at the control today is Captain Dick Esch from Sunrise, Florida. Beautiful day to be up there, looking down at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. And a sellout crowd of 52,032 on hand. They've watched the Phillies take a 1-0 lead as Fred McGriff begins the Atlanta fourth. He's had plenty of success against Mulholland, as those numbers demonstrate. Matter of fact, McGriff has more hits off only one pitcher other than Mulholland in his career, and that's Tom Candiotti. 14 hits from McGriff lifetime against Candiotti, and you saw the 13 for him against Mulholland.
We talked about it the other night about the finish that Fred McGriff has. The finish with that one hand, the right hand, popping that bat above his helmet. I can think of no other player in baseball who finishes a swing like Fred McGriff. But with his success, you'd think more would.
Down the left field line. And a hit for McGriff. It will be a double. The fourth hit for Atlanta. And the Braves have the tying run in scoring position with nobody out in the fourth inning.
See that finish with the right hand with the bat right over the head. And he hits it hard down the left field line. McGriff had 29 doubles during the season and hits a lot of balls to the opposite field.
You talked about his finish. How about the finish of his first inning home run in game 2 that set the tone for the 14-3 blowout? It landed in the front row of the upper deck, estimated on the tail of the tape at 438 feet. Fred said he definitely thinks they cheat the visiting players on that tail of the tape. Just about everybody agreed it was longer than that. Pendleton sent the first one out of play. He bounced back to the mound his first time up. That was only the 6th ball ever to get into the upper deck in right at the vet. Such a long blast that John Kruk after the game said the game was pretty much over when the crime dog, as they call McGriff, killed a family of 4 in the upper deck in right. It was a tremendous blast. See what you were talking about earlier, the difficulty to see the ball for the catcher and the umpire and the hitter, with the shadows now about halfway between home and the pitcher.
It's interesting strategy. An experienced hitter like Pendleton will try to hit the ball the other way up to 2 strikes, and both of the pitches by Mulholland have been inside. So that's the way to negate a right-handed hitter from hitting it the other way, is to pitch him in.
And they set up inside again, but he left it out over the plate, and Pendleton slapped it to second. The tying run is now at third with 1 out. At the conclusion of today's game, Tim McCarver and I will select the Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the game. Chevrolet will donate $1,000 in the player's name to the Special Olympics.
That was just a terrific job by Terry Pendleton of giving himself up. He tried it on the first swing. The second one caught the corner inside, and even with the count 0-2, he still got the job done.
Now Justice 0 for 1 today. He popped out to the third baseman Hollins and foul ground in the second. Still looking for his first hit in the series. Saw that he had an RBI, and that came with a sacrifice fly in game 1. Now 0 for his last 13 in postseason play. His last hit a home run in game 5 of last year's World Series off Jack Morris. Good pitch. 1-1 on Justice. McGriff at third, representing the tying run with 1 out in the bottom of the 4th. The Phillies lead 1-0. They scored in the top of this inning on consecutive triples by Duncan and Kruk. Popped up, not deep. McGriff is tagging in Cavilla in shallow left, makes the catch, and McGriff won't try it. And he was wise to stay within a step or 2 of the bag because Hollins took the throw from Incaviglia very close to the third base bag.
Well, the Phillies had John Kruk at third and nobody out. They couldn't plate him. And now Fred McGriff of the Braves at third with 1 out, and Justice couldn't do it. So it's going to be up to Damon Berryhill or Mark Lemke to get McGriff home.
Berryhill single to right in the second. From the windup with the runner at third, and he missed outside. 1-0 on Berryhill. That pitch clocked at 91 miles per hour on our radar gun down below. Good breaking ball. 1-1 on the Atlanta catcher.
Velocity ranks way down on the list as far as getting hitters out. Movement, particularly late movement, and location are more effective in retiring hitters than velocity, unless you're the type of guy that throws like Nolan Ryan used to. Rob Dibble.
Fly ball to shallow center, and Dykstra is there. So the Braves leave a runner at third, just as the Phillies did at the top of the inning. After 4, 1-0 Philadelphia.
For all of you with the courage to go it alone, to put your future on the line and your name on the door, there's the corporate card from American Express. Use it for all your business expenses. We'll organize them by category and even provide records of charges. It's a great way for any company to get a handle on costs. Call 1-800-SUCCESS. The corporate card to your success.
He packs heavy. She packs light. She wears silk. He wears wool. He's comfortable at 68 degrees. She prefers 72. Good thing they own a Buick Park Avenue with available dual-zone climate control. 72 for her, 68 for him. Too bad everything isn't as accommodating as Park Avenue. From Buick, the new symbol for quality in America.
In Lake Edna, you can get a quarter for $1.99. Come into KFC and enjoy a quarter of the Colonel's Rotisserie Gold. Slow roasted, deep marinated. And now with a cornbread muffin, just $1.99. At KFC, we do chicken right.
Brute, men are back.
You know, when I was growing up, I had to face problems just like kids today. Luckily, I spent most of my free time at the Boys and Girls Club. Children need positive alternatives from drugs and violence. That's where the Boys and Girls Clubs of America comes in. They offer solid, no-nonsense programs that work. I should know. It worked for me. Please join Major League Baseball in supporting the Boys and Girls Clubs of America, the positive place for kids.
A message from Major League Baseball.
Jim Fregosi manages aggressively. He calls it power baseball. I asked him about it.
I like the guys to be selective. I usually don't start runners 3 and 1 to give our hitters a chance to drive the ball. You start a runner If a pitch is a borderline pitch, a guy's going to swing at it and try to protect the runner. I don't do those things. I've found that with this club, it's the most successful way for us to score runs.
Doesn't punt much, doesn't hit and run. Glavin, nice play on the comebacker, and Chamberlain is out.
Yeah, Jim's saying that if he had a different type ball club, that he would employ the hit and run more. He would allow runners to take off 3-1 and 2-1, but he has a power-laden ball club, and you have to adapt your strategy around the cards you're dealt. What a deck of cards he has.
Yes, indeed. Most productive deck of cards in the league this year in terms of runs scored. Kevin Stocker checked his swing and wound up with a double down the right field line in the third. He took a breaking ball for ball one. Interesting to hear Jim Fregosi talk about how his managerial style has been affected by the managers that he played for, and what a list of managers he played for. He said from Gil Hodges he learned respect for the manager. From Chuck Tanner he learned the value of optimism. From Billy Martin, the focus was that everything that was important happened between the white lines. Played for Bill Rigney, who he said was a tremendous teacher. Whitey Herzog, he learned about organization. From Yogi Berra, he learned that fun is very important. You have to have fun.
Managing like a recipe, a little here or there, a little salt, pepper, touch of garlic.
And they have fun. And Fregosi, to his credit, doesn't try to inhibit the personality of any of his players. They know that it's time to get serious when Fregosi says it's time to get serious. And he says that really isn't a tough task, because they are the kind of guys who, once it's time to go out and play the game, do so with a great deal of intensity, despite their fun-loving attitudes. Stocker has another hit. A single through the middle. So Kevin Stocker is 2 for 2, and the Phillies have a runner at first with 1 out of the 5th. They lead 1-0. And if you are just joining us, the only run in this game came in the Philadelphia 4th. Mariano Duncan tripled to center field, and John Kruk hit a triple off the top of the wall and right. He missed a home run by about 2 feet. Kruk was at third with nobody out, but Glavin got the Phillies to strand him at third base. On the subject of interesting and fun-loving personalities, Mitch Williams. Mulholland's going to punt, and he fouled it off.
Definition of a good sacrifice bunter is one who can catch the ball with the bat. It's almost like using the bat as a glove. That softens contact, and in that fashion you don't bunt the ball too hard.
He tried to bunt and he missed, much to his chagrin. 0-2 the count. Fregosi doesn't like to bunt with a guy hitting under 080 lifetime. You don't have many options.
That's right.
And he laid off the 0-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Fregosi himself was a terrific player while playing for all of those managers. 6 times he was an American League All-Star. Strike 3. Glavin hit the outside corner around the knees for the 2nd out of the inning, and Tom's 3rd strikeout of the afternoon.
Tommy Glavin, true to form, right on the corner, and Mulholland, even though he had a good look at it, takes a walk back to the dugout. Well, he can thread the needle to right-handed hitters. Nobody in the National League does it better.
And that pretty well sums up the last 3 seasons for Tom Glavin. Now Lenny Dykstra with 2 outs and a runner at first. Dykstra 0 for 2 today.
and only allowed 9 base runners to steal against him this year. I don't think Stocker will be running until the count's unfavorable to Dykstra. 0-1, 0-2.
That's well hit, a base hit into right field. Hit so sharply that Stocker will have to stop at second. So Dykstra has his 3rd hit in this series. And it's 1st and 2nd with 2 outs for Philadelphia in the 5th. The Phillies lead 1-0.
One thing that Lee Thomas looked at when he put this team together, he's the general manager of the Phillies, is how can these guys win? Well, Mariano Duncan, a winner. He played on the 1990 Reds. Lenny Dykstra, a winner. The world champion Mets of '86.
Duncan, the batter, he tripled and scored last inning, and he was 3rd best in this situation in the National League this year with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. He had .394. Only Jeffries and Gwynn fared better. Down the right field line, slicing toward the bullpen and foul. Luckily, they didn't need to run into our CBS Sports banner. Our banner in left field in Toronto last night took a beating.
Yeah, 2 nights ago in Philadelphia, 2 guys took our banner. So maybe they pinned it up down there near the Atlanta bullpen.
Now, I believe it was Tim Raines who ran into our banner last night and left. And we set the rule 2 nights ago in Philadelphia when they stole our banner and walked around the stadium. Anybody who takes the banner, we're not going to show. So you probably won't see Tim Raines on our telecast tonight, even if he's in the game. And we have that banner out there in right field anchored down today. We're told that those are locks on the other side of the padding that you cannot see. They even heated up the banner so it's hot to the touch. Those bullpen guys won't try to grab it. Duncan will try to get a piece of the 1-2, and he did not. Glavine got him with the high fastball to end the inning. Halfway through game 3, 1-0 Philadelphia.
Someone very special is on that train. That's why you're driving a Buick LeSabre. You love its powerful V6 engine, anti-lock brakes, and steel safety cage body unit. But you bought LeSabre for the dual airbags, one for you and one for that very special person who sits next to you. LeSabre from Buick, the new symbol for quality in America.
At the Mutual of Omaha Companies, we understand that the well-being of the individual often depends on the strength of the group. That's why our healthcare plans are designed to meet the specific needs of both. Mutual of Omaha, managed healthcare plans to protect your changing world.
There is a sound you'll hear in the triangle below Canal Street. It's the sound of German being spoken by those who are moved by the art. In your town, America, and the world, Beck's, the #1 imported German beer.
Finally, there's a TV that proves technology can make our lives easier. A Magnavox TV with a precise color picture, smart windows which preview other channels, and the unique smart sound feature, which ensures your volume will stay at normal levels no matter what comes on. Magnavox is so smart, I didn't even have to show up for this commercial. Commercial. How'd I do?
Great. You were great.
The innovative TVs from Magnavox. Smart, very smart.
The Clinton Plan for Healthcare Reform.
What does this all mean to you?
The CBS Evening News, team to cover your world.
When Harlan takes the stand, will there be justice for all?
I'm a simple country doctor.
Doesn't he just give you goosebumps?
That's why I wear this long robe. Evening shade. Then Mom and Dad are stepping out.
If you'd like to wait in the bar.
Dave, let's just go get a burger.
No. My wife did not shave her legs for a burger. All new Dave's World after Evening Shade Monday.
We hope you'll be tuned to CBS Sports tonight at 8 Eastern time for Game 4 of the American League Championship Series between the White Sox and the Blue Jays. The White Sox got back into the series last night behind Wilson Alvarez. A complete game effort, and Tim Raines went 4 for 5, including a couple of doubles. So Toronto leads 2-1. 8 o'clock tonight. Game 4 from Sky Dome. Doesn't matter how lovely the weather is in Toronto, as we discovered yesterday. The roof will be closed. That's mandated by American League President Dr. Bobby Brown. Really doesn't seem to make much sense. The reason they build a retractable dome is so that when the weather is nice, they can play the game outdoors. But they won't. We're outdoors in brilliant sunshine today in Atlanta. 1-0 Philadelphia in the bottom of the 5th. 81 degrees, the game time temperature. Just a couple of fair weather white puffy clouds overhead. Lemke, Glavine, and Nixon due up against Mulholland, and that's it for Lemke. He's called out on strikes. Second strikeout of the ball game for Terry Mulholland.
That was not a good at bat by Mark Lemke. It looked like his right shoulder was bothering him. We mentioned in Game 1 that his left knee is fine, but his right shoulder has been giving him problems. This breaking ball right here freezes Lemke after 2 poor swings.
Glavine fouled the first pitch to him away. Tom bounced out to the first baseman Kruk unassisted, ending the second. Glavine spent the off day yesterday relaxing, playing golf with his teammates John Smoltz, Greg Olson, former teammate Charlie Leibrandt, while Mulholland joined the Phillies here at the stadium for the workout. Did all that he could to avoid the media. Terry said originally he didn't want to talk at all about the start today, but then after he granted a one-on-one interview to ESPN, the Phillies public relations staff talked him into having a general press conference, but he said he did not want to answer any questions about the start today. Glavine hit a line drive to short for the second out, and that of course had members of the media wondering what it was that they thought Terry thought they wanted to talk about.
Well, you talked about Whitey Herzog influencing Jim Fregosi with that word organization. Baseball players have to organize their time also in postseason play. You give the allotted time to the media and then disappear.
Otis Nixon is the batter. He's 0 for 2 today. He's bounced out twice. Talked about a key to success against the Braves, keeping Nixon off base. He was a going concern in the first 2 games. Not so today. And the only thing they're concerned about, it appears, in the Phillies dugout is building a sandcastle. Bunt, a good one. Mulholland, high throw. Nixon is safe. A bunt single for Otis Nixon with 2 outs in the 5th.
2 out and nobody on normally would not be a good play. However, you say, well, Otis Nixon had 47 steals, so there's a chance of him stealing second base. But now here's the counter to that. Terry Mulholland has allowed 1 stolen base this year. So if you take that train of thought and you realize that Otis Nixon said that there's no way to run against Terry Holland, why is he bunting in that situation? This is going to be an interesting matchup right here. Against a right-handed pitcher or a left-hander without a good move, it would have been an excellent play. But Mulholland, as you can see, is so quick going to first.
So good that there were only 6 attempts to steal the base against him this year, and the only one that was successful was Darren Lewis of San Francisco way back on April 27th, and Todd Pratt was the catcher. So there hasn't been a stolen base against this battery, but Nixon's going to try it, and he is out. So Otis was right. You can't run on Terry Mulholland. After 5, 1-0 Philadelphia. Will return after this message and a word from your local station.
Wednesdays, this October, after the World Series. He's an LA private eye who's just taken on the toughest case of his career.
This is Mr. McMahon. He's bailing you out.
His new partner.
Fellas, I just won $1 million.
Glenn Fry and Aries Spears
Give me a kiss, baby!
take you south of Sunset. Series premiere Wednesday, October 27th.
This is CBS.
To make Dodge Intrepid more spacious, we moved the wheels that normally go here, out, and back to here. Up front, the wheels that were here were moved out to here. It's a concept called cab forward that yields astonishing room for people like me. While good things like wider doors, sports car handling, and superb aerodynamics came along for the ride. Dodge Intrepid. This changes everything.
Irv and Al both own delicatessens, and both have small business health plans. Irv has a traditional health plan and a large deductible for hospitalization, doctor's visits, x-rays, and lab tests. Al has Greater Atlantic. His hospital bills, doctor's office visits, x-rays, and lab tests are covered. Irv picked the right pastrami, but the wrong health plan. Greater Atlantic, the coverage you need for 100% peace of mind.
Save in every department during Circuit City's Columbus Day weekend sale. Get unbeatable low prices and 0% interest for 6 months on top brands. This GE 19-inch TV is just $189.97. Every Sony and Panasonic VCR is on sale. Every component CD player and every GE and Amana refrigerator is on sale. Unbeatable low prices and 0% now at Circuit City.
Welcome to Circuit City, where service is state-of-the-art.
It's dream season on Time Out, tonight at 7:30, only on Channel 10.
Base runners are taught in the minor leagues to pivot on their front foot and not to pick it up. However, Otis Nixon, a base stealer supreme, picks it up, wastes time, and he's out by a step at second base. So I guess you could say he was thrown out at first base, not second base. You could see Mariano Duncan blocking second base. He took the spikes, the full thrust of the spikes of Otis Nixon.
Bobby Cox said they'd try to hit and run if they had a chance against Mulholland, but really not straight out steal. Nixon gunned down, ending the fifth. So it's the top of the sixth, still 1-0 Philadelphia. And John Kruk is the hitter. Kruk tripled off the top of the wall and right to drive in the only run of this game. His triple came one pitch after Mariano Duncan tripled to center. Off Glavine, Duncan scored the only run in the game. Kruk behind in the count 1-2. The end of the bat, a foul ball, still 1-2.
Frank Hoppenbarger is the equipment manager of the Phillies, and I would think two of his most vital pieces of equipment that he takes on the road, razors and hair dryers. Wouldn't you?
They don't seem to be using the razors. That's to deep left. Kruk with a home run, a towering opposite field fly ball that carried well back into the bleachers and left. And the Phillies lead 2-0. That's a long way to hit a ball in that direction by a left-handed hitter. And Kruk has his first home run of the league championship series.
It's a long way to hit a home run to the opposite field, but it's not unusual for John Kruk. 30 of his first 33 major league homers were hit to left field, and Tommy Glavine, who gave up 16 home runs this season, gives up one to John Kruk. A lot of loft and deep enough.
But only one of those 16 home runs in the regular season surrendered by Glavine was to a left-handed hitter. Barry Bonds, the only left-handed hitter to take Glavine deep during the regular season, and there were 167 left-handed at-bats this year against Tommy. And the rocking is underway for Leo Mazzoni in the Atlanta dugout. Bench coach Jim Beecham in the background. Dave Hollins fouled one to the screen. Kruk has driven in both runs in this game with a triple and a solo homer, and it's 2-0 Phils in the 6th. Hollins has bounced to third and to short. Fastball up. 2-2 on Hollins. Glavine, a native of Billerica, Massachusetts. He and his wife Carrie make their home here in the Atlanta area now. That's a fly ball out of play.
So Hollins trying to go to right field. There's Greg Maddux. He was the winning pitcher in game 2 of this series when Atlanta won 14-3 the other night. Dave Hollins trying to pull Glavine the first 2 times up. He's a very successful hitter against Glavine, but he's got to go the other way to be successful. Hollins grounded out to third. He grounded out to short. And that's what Glavine wants the right-handers to do, to try to pull the ball. Guys who give Tommy problems are guys who go the other way.
That was during the regular season, but Kruk has a left-handed home run in this inning. Hollins pulled one foul. You had a very good example of that in the 4th, what you were talking about, when Hollins came up with Kruk at third and nobody out. Tried to pull a pitch that was obviously outside off the plate. And he hit a weak ground ball to short.
The only ball that's been pulled for a base hit by the Phillies, as a matter of fact, Lenny Dykstra's single to right.
Another 3-2 to Hollins. He went with the pitch. That one might have been off the plate, and it's a fly ball to right.
This is the sequence of pitches to John Kruk from Tommy Glavine. The first one inside, the second one was fouled off, the third one was high, and then the fourth one was fouled off. And with the count 2-2, here's what John Kruk did. Fastball high and out over the plate. And that put the Phillies up 2-0. Looked like Glavine was trying to keep the ball away from Kruk on that sequence. Only one pitch on the inside part.
The 1-strike pitch to Darren Dalton is outside. A ball and a strike. Dalton struggling with the bat in this series. 0 for 2 today. Now 1 for 9 in the 3 games. Dalton's power dropped off late in the season. Darren hasn't hit a home run since September 17th, and some of that is because he was rested a lot down the stretch after the Phillies clinched. Darren's only hit 1 home run in the Phillies' last 30 games. Incaviglia on deck. Valenti a long way to his right from the outfield grass. He throws him out. That'll bring up Pete Incaviglia, and here's what Doug Drabeck told us about Inky.
Pete Incaviglia, an aggressive hitter with tremendous power. He likes the fastball up in the zone so he can drive it. So you need to use a lot of breaking balls low and away from it.
See, that's said from a right-handed pitcher, however. Glavine's going to keep the ball away from him. He'll waste them inside, but not with breaking balls, fastballs and changeups. It's a good area for Tommy Glavine, but he just does it differently than Doug Drabeck would do it.
Two 2-0 on Incaviglia. 2 outs, bases empty, 6th inning. The Phillies lead 2-0, courtesy of John Kruk, who has driven in both runs, one of them here in the 6th with his leadoff home run.
John has said that he can put as many as 15 pieces of bubble gum in his mouth at once. He's chewing now like he's got about 6 or 7, not 15. What do you think?
I would say far fewer than 15. But I think he's demonstrated many times that 15 can be accomplished. Of course, a lot has been made about the Phillies. Their somewhat down and dirty image. The Atlanta paper here yesterday had the headline, "Down and Dirty. Hide the women and children Atlanta. America's other team is coming to town." And it was a very uncomplimentary article about the Phillies and their appearance. One Atlanta fan, a lady in this area, was quoted as calling them gross. Fat and ugly seemed to be the recurring words, and Pete Incaviglia, for one, was a little bit offended by it. He railed against the article at the press conference here yesterday. You talked about chewing and spitting. The Atlanta paper is even keeping track of how often players on both sides are seen spitting or chewing. And they're counting game 2 at the Braves spitting 9 times and the Phillies 22 times on camera. Lemke throws him out. The Braves, however, did lead the Phillies in open mouth chewing 11-5. And the numbers that really matter today, it's 2-0 Philadelphia, middle of the 6th.
It has a computer-controlled safety system, but it isn't an F-15 fighter. It has gold-plated connectors for longer life, but it isn't a deep space probe. It cost hundreds of millions of dollars to develop its technology, but it can be yours starting at around $13,000. It's the 1994 Toyota Corolla. You can't buy a more impressive car for less.
What do you mean I can't do that?
Please, don't pull that on me now.
I'm pressing enter.
You're the computer. You tell me where the file is.
Huh? Don't just sit there blinking. Enter. I'm gonna give this to you, but I want it back.
The idea of talking to a computer is certainly not a new one.
Open status report.
Getting a response certainly is. The new Desk Pro with business audio from Compaq.
The thing is, 2 scoops of raisins make Kellogg's Raisin Bran taste so good, people forget it's good for them. What do you think?
Tastes good.
And?
It's delicious.
That's the same thing. See, it's Kellogg's, remember? So it tastes good and it's good for you.
Right. I forgot.
That's all right. Let's try again.
It tastes good.
And?
It's tasty.
And?
It's really tasty.
There are 2 reasons to eat Kellogg's Raisin Bran. The taste.
And?
The average ice cube can't taste the difference between Diet Dr. Pepper and regular Dr. Pepper. But the amazing thing is, you probably can't either. Discover what millions already have. The great taste of Diet Dr. Pepper.
Dave Thomas really missed Wendy's Monterey Ranch chicken sandwich with its whole breast filet, Monterey Jack cheese, and creamy ranch dressing with real bacon on a toasted Kaiser bun. So he has something to say.
It's back.
The simple fact is American women are buying guns like they've never bought them before. Sales of the Ladysmith have doubled.
Sunday on CBS.
Welcome back to Atlanta. The Braves have called Fulton County Stadium here their home since 1966, and it's going to be their home for the next 3 years, at which time they'll then move over here across the street to what was the parking lot, and that's going to be their brand new home. It's at a cost of $210 million. It's been donated by the Olympics. The Olympics will have the games here in 1996, and that's when it'll be ready. It'll be for 80,000 fans for the Olympics, and then after the Olympics, they'll tear it down, make it 48,000, and then the Braves will move in here in 1997. President Stan Kasten told me that this stadium right here is going to have the feel of Oriole Park at Camden Yards. As for Fulton County Stadium, they're going to play baseball there for the Olympics, and then it's going to be torn down, and it's going to be a parking lot. Back to you guys inside.
Thanks, Jim. Watch out for the traffic. Jeff Plowser with a base hit off the glove of Terry Mulholland, and the Braves have the lead man on in the bottom of the 6th.
Second time in the game that the Braves have had their lead runner on. The other time, Fred McGriff's double in the 4th. So now Atlanta with the meat of their lineup coming up.
It's the second time today the Braves have had the lead man on. Griff doubled leading off the 4th and was stranded at 3rd after reaching 3rd with 1 out. Ron Gant doubled with 2 outs in the 1st and was stranded there. He struck out in the 3rd. Tying run at the plate for Atlanta. 2-0 Philadelphia. Gant, who drove in 15 runs in a 4-game stretch in mid-September, is at the plate. Good move by Mulholland.
Mariano Duncan will give the sign to Kevin Stocker. If it's an open mouth, Stocker covers if Blauser runs. And if it's a closed mouth, Duncan says, I'll take it myself. Duncan will wait until Dalton gives the sign. If it's a breaking ball, then he will give a closed mouth because the ball is apt to be pulled. If it's a fastball away, now this is probably a breaking ball or something inside.
Of course, with the track record that we documented last inning of Mulholland, Dalton, and throwing out base runners, if Blauser does try to steal, there'll be a lot of open mouths around the stadium.
Gawking, huh?
Yes.
The shadow knows as the shadow creeps in from behind home plate. At 4, that's what it was like. And here at 4:30, almost behind the mound.
Now home plate and the pitcher in the shadows. The 2-0 again is ball 3. Mulholland has had excellent control today. He has not issued a walk, and for the most part, he's worked ahead in the count. And now he's behind Gant 3-0 with Fred McGriff on deck. And McGriff has owned Mulholland in their one-on-one dealings over the years. That's ball 4. Mulholland turned it over and missed low and away. So the tying run is at first with nobody out, and Johnny Padres, the pitching coach, will probably get the bullpen started. He will, and he'll buy some time for the bullpen as he heads to the mound. Fred McGriff, who started the assault on Philadelphia pitching in the first inning of Game 2 with a mammoth 2-run homer. Hit the front row of the upper deck in right, only the 6th ball to reach the upper deck in right in the history of the vet, and the first to reach the upper deck in right since 1989 when Von Hayes hit one up there. It's Roger Mason warming up in the Philadelphia bullpen. Mulholland has only thrown 63 pitches. But as we mentioned earlier, Mulholland has only pitched 5 innings in the last 5 weeks. Jim Fregosi thought because of his superior conditioning that Terry could go the full 9 if necessary today. McGriff, double to left his last time out. That's a line drive and a base hit into center field. Here comes Blauser with the first Atlanta run. Gant takes third. It's 2-1 Philadelphia. The tying run at third, the go-ahead run at first with nobody out for Atlanta.
He has done it ever since he got here, and that date was July 20th. Rifles one into left center. You can see Blauser turning around, checking the outfielder, knowing he's going to score, and Gant looking at the outfielder rounding second base, looking at Dykstra in center, and going to third without a play.
And McGriff is now 15 for 31 in his career against Mulholland, a .484 average. Infield back at double play depth with a tying run at third. Pendleton lines one, and they're teeing off on Mulholland. Gant's in to make it 2-2. McGriff goes to third. Terry Pendleton with his 4th RBI of the series. And 4 straight Braves have reached to open the 6th.
Not only have McGriff and Pendleton delivered, but they've delivered on first pitches. A liner by McGriff, a liner by Pendleton. Not a bad pitch by Mulholland. He got it up a little bit. The Braves are hitting 2 balls hard after the infield hit and then the walk to Gant.
Justice the batter. He fouled the first pitch away. Argosi tries to stay away from his bullpen in the middle innings if he can. It is not a strength of the Philadelphia team. But it might be that because of the recent inactivity, Mulholland is running out of gas, even with well under 100 pitches thrown. He's ahead of Justice 0-2. David's still in search of his first hit in this series. He's 0 for 9, 0 for 2 today. They have driven in a run with a sacrifice fly back in game 1. Go ahead run at third and nobody out. And a good pitch by Mulholland. It just missed the inside corner. McGriff, the go ahead run at third. And Pendleton is at first. 2-2 the score in the 6th inning. And the 1-2 pitch. Weekly down to first. Kroc will try the plate. It's a foul ball. First base umpire Jim Quick signaling that the ball went off the foot of Justice.
A lot of times a home plate umpire can tell whether a batter runs or not, whether it hit him. This ball clearly hits Justice on the front foot, right off the front, or did it? We might have to take another
on the shin.
Yeah, because it wasn't the front foot, I don't believe. Probably the shin. Yep. It was called immediately by first base umpire Jim Quick.
A 1-2 pitch. Well hit left field. In Cavilla. Can't get it. Here comes McGriff to make it 3-2. Pendleton's right behind him. The relay throw is cut off, and it's 4-2 Atlanta. The first hit of the series for David Justice is a 2-run double. Shutout innings for Mulholland, but it came apart very quickly here in the 6th. Roger Mason, the new pitcher, when we come back.
Will a crash course in sensitivity help the gang get along?
Don't we want to learn to be sensitive to other people?
Put a plug in it. All new Murphy Brown. Then, ladies, who would you date? An insecure whiner or a self-centered bore?
These are my choices. This is why I live with a cat.
All new Love and War after Murphy Brown, Monday.
Okay, luge competition or bowling?
Luge. Bowling.
Okay, we'll watch bowling.
Miller Lite presents luge bowling. Cool. Boy, is he fast.
He better be, Bob, because here come those bowling balls.
Brought to you by Miller Lite. If you can combine great taste with less filling, you can combine anything.
He's got the angle. Oh, no, it's a 7-10 split.
Oh, nice pickup.
Great taste, less filling. Can your baby do this?
What's new from Xerox? Xerox Extreme 450 antifreeze and a new 4-year guarantee. If your kid's just starting college, it's guaranteed till he graduates. We've taken our promise to extremes. For the next 4 years or the next 50,000 miles, we guarantee the temperature never drops below Xerox. It's protection you never had from antifreeze before. Get new Xerox Extreme 450. And for the next 4 years, the next 50,000 miles, we guarantee the temperature never drops below Xerox.
A promise to let you finish stories I've heard 100 times before. A promise to ask for directions after the 3rd wrong turn. A promise to take care of you, always.
To help keep their promises, people rely on us to ensure their lives, their health, and their financial future. Mass Mutual, we help you keep your promises.
Tomorrow on the NFL Today, injured Eagle Randall Cunningham tells us when he'll be ready to fly again. Can Troy take Dallas back to the Super Bowl? And Jim McMahon tries to bring the Viking offense back. That's all tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern on the NFL Today.
Roger Mason was in the blowout in Philadelphia the other night. The game the Braves won 14-3, and he pitched 2 scoreless innings. And he will be trying for an out, something that Terry Mulholland did not achieve in this inning. 6 straight base runners and 5 straight hits.
Damon Berryhill, the batter. He lifts a high fly ball foul well back into the stands and right.
The other night, the Atlanta Braves in the 3rd inning, the inning in which they scored 6 runs, had 6 straight hits. That set a National League Championship Series record, and they had 5 straight hits this afternoon. Remember, walks do not count as far as straight hits are concerned.
All 5 men who have batted in this inning have reached. Blauser started it with the infield single off the glove of Mulholland, then Gant walked, then McGriff singled, scoring Blauser and driving Gant to 3rd. And Pendleton singled, scoring Gant, sending McGriff to 3rd. And Justice doubled to drive in 2. And now Berryhill had them ducking in his own dugout with a sharp hopping foul ball. 1-2 on Damon. Deion Sanders, Sid Bream among those ducking for cover. Four runs on 9 hits for Atlanta. 2 runs, 6 hits for Philadelphia. Justice at second base and still nobody out. Mulholland pitched 5 shutout innings, then 5 men in a row reached to open the 6th. And Mulholland departed in favor of Mason. Well hit and right. Chamberlain on the warning track makes the catch. Justice tags, and he's at 3rd with 1 out.
We saw Terry Pendleton move a runner to 3rd, and now we see Damon Berryhill move a runner to 3rd. And this situation has squeeze written all over it. Pitcher hitting next. Jim Fregosi doesn't like to squeeze, but that is in the arsenal of offensive plays of Bobby Cox.
And Lemke is a good man to do it with, because he can bunt, and he's had a tough time swinging the bat lately with a sore shoulder. He's 1 for 2 today, but has 1 hit an infield single. And he's just 2 for 11 in the series. Jimmy Williams, the 3rd base coach, through the signs. Phillies have the infield in with the score 4-2 in favor of Atlanta in the 6th inning. Good pitch.
Third base coach in a squeeze situation, if he puts it on, he'll give it to the hitter. Expect an answer if the hitter does something unusual, and then relay the word sign to the runner.
Ball 2, 2-1.
If you're the runner at 3rd base, the one thing you do not want to do in a squeeze situation is break too soon. If you do, then the pitcher will pitch out, and that aborts the squeeze. Imperative that the batter make contact. He doesn't want to square around too quickly, however.
And he swings away and lines a foul ball into the stands and left.
So with 2 strikes, if Bobby Cox was thinking about squeezing, it's probably off here.
Well, at the very least, given the circumstances, he had to think about it. Lemke at the plate. The pitcher Glavine on deck. 1 out, a runner at 3rd. The 2-2 pitch. Bounced foul. Past Pat Corrales in the first base coach's box. Braves lead 4-2. They've scored all 4 runs here in the 6th. Roger Mason, 35-year-old veteran, with the 2-2 pitch that's outside.
Seen managers employ a squeeze with a count 3-2. The pitcher's got to come in there with a strike.
And Lemke bounces one to second and eats up Duncan. Justice coming to the plate. He is safe. Dalton says he tagged him, but Terry Tata does not agree.
Well, Darren left his spot, and by leaving his spot, that allows Justice to score. Watch Dalton come away from home plate. It's a short hop that eats up Duncan, but he recovers in time, and Justice tries to score, but Dalton's too far out in front of home plate to make the tag. Had Dalton been back, he wards off Justice, and the Phillies get the out. But see how Dalton is leaving the plate. There's no reason whatsoever to take it for granted that Duncan's not going to come home. The only place Dalton has, the only thing he has to do is stay home.
Terry Tate had an excellent view of it, and it appeared from the last replay angle that if Dalton tagged him, it was after Justice had already stepped on the plate. They have the hit and run on, and Lemke took off for second. That means Kruk's only play is at first to get Glavine. Now Lemke is in scoring position. They scored the ball hit by Lemke as an error on Duncan, and they did not credit him with an RBI, deeming that Justice didn't take off for the plate until after Duncan had booted it. So an error on Duncan, no RBI. Talked about the shaky defense of the Phillies being a factor in the series, and it has been from time to time.
Well, it's an error on Duncan, but it was a mental error on Darren Dalton. There is no reason for him to leave home plate. He's got to stay home until the play is finished.
The 9th batter of the inning is Otis Nixon.
Watch Dalton. He's leaving home, and he's too far away to make the tag. Now, even if he made the tag, Tata's going to call him safe. But there is no reason for Dalton to be away from there, and Duncan's throw was late.
Dixon sends one out of play. Otis 1 for 3, a bunt single. Last inning, he was thrown out trying to steal, ending the inning. It was his 6th hit of this series. Nixon is 6 for 11. Lemke at second with 2 outs. Two balls and 1 strike. All the runs in this inning charged to Mulholland. Mason is responsible for Lemke. Good breaking ball moving down and in to Nixon. 2-2 on Otis.
Really a good job by Mason. He got the ground ball with Justice on at third base, but an in-between hop ate Duncan up, and his throw home was late.
Now the 2-2. He struck him out. 5 runs for Atlanta in the 6th. We go to 7. 5-2 Braves.
Dragon racing!
We want to watch the dog show.
Okay, we can watch both. Sunday! Miller Lite presents the Wiener Dog Winter Nationals! It's muffin Terry versus Dogzilla. And here they come, Bob. Brought to you by Miller Lite. If you can combine great taste with less filling, you can combine anything. And Muffy takes it. That's one fast wiener dog. Great taste, less filling. Can your beer do this?
This is good beer.
Word on the street was they were a bad bet. An American institution, 3 days shy of extinction. Only one investment firm, Dean Witter, saw past the problems to the real value of the company. And a rumble was heard round Wall Street as the last American motorcycle company came roaring back to life with a listing on the New York Stock Exchange. From Main Street to Wall Street, at Dean Witter.
We measure success one investor at a time.
What tire do you trust in the wet? A tire that removes over 2 gallons of water per second from under the tread. The all-season MX-4. Another engineering splash from Michelin.
Although J.D. Power and Associates ranked Toyota Paseo best model and initial quality in its price class, here's some things they might have missed. On warm days, it runs a little hot. It can be noisy at high speeds. And sometimes, it's hard to get out of first gear. Other than that, Paseo is a very practical car from Toyota.
CBS Sports coverage of Game 3 of the National League Championship Series is brought to you by Toyota and their full line of quality cars and trucks. Miller Lite, great taste, less filling. Can your beer do this? And by Meineke, you're not going to pay a lot for your muffler.
Continuing a tradition that began in 1960 at the Orange Bowl, today's overhead shots are from the Goodyear blimp Stars and Stripes from Pompano Beach, Florida. Hello, fellas. Watch where you're going. Wes Chamberlain chopped the first pitch of the 7th, foul off the plate. Tomahawk says jewelry.
Yep, that's a tomahawk right there after Wes Chamberlain chopped one off the plate. Matter of fact, that's what Chamberlain's done twice today. He has chopped back to Glavine twice.
Stalker due up next, and then the pinch hitter for the pitcher. Here, this one comes. Just off to our right, Larry Anderson will be the new pitcher when the Braves come up to the bottom of the 7th, one would suspect, with Mason scheduled to bat 3rd. Here in the top of the 7th, the Braves lead 5-2. Glavine pitching with the lead for the first time today. Again, that's up the middle. This one gathered in by Lemke. This is Game 3. Game 4 and 5 will be here tomorrow night. Game 4 will be here tomorrow night. Game 5 will be here Monday. They will not play a doubleheader here tomorrow. First pitch tomorrow night, 8:29. And on Monday afternoon, it's a 3:07 Eastern Time first pitch. Games 6 and 7, if necessary, would be back in Philadelphia. Our coverage begins tomorrow night at 8 o'clock with Baseball 93. Kevin Stalker 2 for 2, a double and a single. And he looked at a breaking ball for strike 1. He's a switch hitter. It was his college coach, Bob McDonald, at the University of Washington, who turned him into a switch hitter. Late swing at the fastball, 0-2 on Stalker. Glavine has retired 4 in a row since the home run by Kruk leading off last inning. Down the line to Pendleton. 2 outs.
Rather routine play, but watch how Pendleton gets rid of it quickly. Terry does not have as strong an arm as he had when he signed with the Cardinals back in the early 80s, but he makes up for it with experience. On the artificial surface, he'll throw the 1-hop throws to first. He plays shallow now. talking to Bobby Cox the other day, asking about Terry Pendleton. The Braves have an option on him next year. And without committing, Bobby said, I think we'll have him back.
Milt Thompson is going to bat for the pitcher. Interesting with right-handed hitters available on the bench. Jim Fregosi went for a left-handed bat in Thompson. Ricky Jordan was out briefly in the on-deck circle. 2 outs, he was called back, and Thompson took his place.
That was in case someone was on. Jordan would have been the batter, but with 2 out and nobody on, you have to use a pinch hitter. So you use lefty against a lefty, but when you think about it, a left-handed hitter has had the most success against Glavine today. That's John Kruk, who tripled in a run and homered.
And some of the best numbers for the Phillies against Glavine coming into today belong to left-handed hitters. Dykstra, 345 against Glavine coming in. Dalton, 375. Of course, Thompson hasn't seen many lefties this year. He's been platooning with Pete Incaviglia. 2 balls and a strike on Milt. For the most part, the area between the mound and home plate is in the shadows, but there is one little sunspot right there on home plate and toward the left-handed batter's box. 2-2 on Thompson. Two outs and the base is empty. Top of the 7th. 5-2 Atlanta. Strike 3. Thompson called out on strikes. So 1-2-3 inning for Glavine. At the stretch, the Braves by 3.
From the instant you begin until you're over the top, there are no words to describe it. But if you're lucky enough to try it, then you'll know what the others know. The Toyota 4x4. It's the closest thing to owning the mountain. Toyota trucks. You just gotta love them.
I can take care of myself in the ring, but in my car, I trust Meineke for safe, reliable brake service at a low price.
Now more than ever, at Meineke, you're not going to pay a lot, but you'll get a lot.
I guarantee it.
Some people get nasal congestion, but if you get sinus congestion, use a sinus spray like Sinex. Only Sinex has a decongestant plus Vicks Vapors, so you can feel your swollen passages open up. For sinus, think Sinex.
In the 80s, a lot of companies invested their pension funds in questionable real estate. Unfortunately, that's life. In the 80s, we invested most of our pension funds in investment-grade bonds. That's New York Life. New York Life, the company you keep.
Hi, this has to be in LA tomorrow.
No problem, sir.
With express mail from the Postal Service, you're never left in the dark.
Yes, your package is in LA and will be delivered.
Morning.
From just $9.95, we track, we trace, we deliver for you.
Hey, you kids, get off the field!
Catch actor Matt Dillon and comedian George Miller on Late Show with David Letterman, Monday.
7th inning stretch here at sold-out Atlanta Fulton County Stadium for the crowd of better than 52,000. The home team has a 3-run lead. Sean McDonough along with Tim McCarver. So much talk about the explosiveness of the Phillies as the leading run-scoring team in the National League this year. But ever since they got Fred McGriff, Atlanta has shown that ability to explode for runs in bunches. We saw it in Game 2 and again here in Game 3.
Yeah, there was a gap, and the gap was filled by Fred McGriff because the Atlanta Braves are concentrating their hitting in innings. You think of the blowout the other night. It was the 6th-run 3rd and the 5-run 6th inning this afternoon.
Larry Anderson is the new pitcher, and his first offering went back to the backstop. Anderson making his second appearance in this series. He was one of those who appeared in the blowout in Game 2. Larry worked the 9th inning and gave up a run on 2 hits. And he's behind Blauser, 2 balls and no strikes.
That 5-run explosion in the 6th inning started so innocently with the infield hit by Blauser and then 4 straight balls to Gant. Then the pounding began.
The infield hit last inning, the only hit for Blauser today. He's 1 for 3. He scored the first of the 5 runs last inning. Most of the observers agreed that McGriff's home run was the big one in the first inning. It set the tone for the rest of the night, but Blauser thought that his home run, which was the second home run, was most important. He said, the way I've been swinging, when my teammates saw that I could hit a home run, then they figured everybody could. Jeff said in his typically self-deprecating fashion.
Well, of course, the home run that put the Phillies away, as we said earlier, the 3-run shot by Berryhill.
And there's a shot to left. And a base hit for Blauser. He'll try for 2. Incaviglia's throw. Safe. A hustling double for Jeff Blauser.
Looks like a hanging breaking ball to Blauser. And most of the time, when you see a guy sliding into second base with a double, the reason that he got the double was that he was running hard out of the box. It's fashionable for some players in baseball now to kind of glide away from home plate and not run hard. But the reason Blauser's on second base now instead of first was that he ran hard out of the box.
And the throw from Incaviglia was just offline. Anderson's pitch, ball 1. Blauser at second and nobody out. In the 7th, 5-2 Braves. They're up to 10 hits now. They had 4 last inning. Ron Gant walked last inning and scored. He doubled back in the first. Right back to Anderson. He looked Blauser back and threw out Gant. Philadelphia took a 1-0 lead in the 4th on back-to-back triples by Mariano Duncan and John Kruk. It became 2-0 in the top of the 6th when Kruk hit a home run to left field. But then Atlanta, after being held scoreless by Mulholland for the first 5 innings, scored 5 runs in the 6th, highlighted by the 2-run double by David Justice. Fred McGriff drove in the first run last inning with a single to center. And Jim Fregosi will put him on intentionally, set up a double play possibility. They'll take their chances with Terry Pendleton.
Well, the Braves have a very difficult lineup to work, even if you're thinking about platooning, as Jim Fregosi has David West warming up in the bullpen. But why bring West in to pitch to Terry Pendleton? Because Terry's a switch hitter. Pendleton a switch hitter right in between those 2 left-handed bookends, Fred McGriff and David Justice. Even though Pendleton is not as good a hitter as a right-handed batter as he is left-handed, he's a .290 batter hitting from the right side. I should say he's better from the right side than he is from the left side. So I guess that's the reason Fregosi walked Fred McGriff.
Pendleton singled to center to drive in a run last inning. And he scored the 4th of the 5 runs. 5-2 Atlanta, bottom of the 7th. 2 men on and 1 out. And Anderson started Pendleton with strike 1. And the Braves lead 6-2. Second RBI of the game, 5th of the series for Terry Pendleton.
Hey, remember the last weekend of the season, Terry Pendleton had 9 RBIs against the Colorado Rockies. Matter of fact, Pendleton may be the hottest hitter on the Braves right now.
David West, the new pitcher, when we come back.
Come on, stop. I'm begging you. I mean, what is this? Not just one plain flake, but count them. I'm overwhelmed. What? All right, so I'm doing a 180 here. It's simple. That's good. The crunches. Yeah, I could go for them. Okay? Okay. Okay. Okay.
Kellogg's Corn Flakes.
Kellogg's cornflakes. You know you're killing me, right? Kellogg's cornflakes. Funny guy.
Taste them again for the first time.
I'm getting older, so I have to push myself just a little bit harder.
Introducing a new, hard-working Power Stick. Now with more odor fighters per stroke than ever.
Hey, that's better for me and everybody else.
New Power Stick from Fabergé, the most powerful Power Stick ever.
Save right now. Buy 3 Goodyear tires at the regular price, get the 4th tire free. That's right. Buy any 3 of these Goodyear tires at the regular price and get the 4th free. 4 for 3 now. Hurry, savings end soon.
At BASF, we don't make the sneakers, we make them bouncier. We don't make the car, we make it more colorful. We don't make the leather, we make it jazzier. We don't make the helmet, we make it more comfortable. At BASF, we don't make a lot of the products you buy, we make a lot of the products you buy better. BASF.
Monday for anyone who's ever been in love.
You going out with Ted Banks?
Experienced hot passion.
Corn nuts? Okay.
And known the pain of losing a love to someone else.
If memory serves, you even kiss the same.
We do? It's a many-splendored thing.
So where's it taking you? To dump.
That's beautiful. All new Northern Exposure Monday.
What do you think about sex on the job? Dan claims he wouldn't play ball with his female boss and took her to court instead.
Eye to Eye with Connie Chung, Thursday.
Tomorrow on the NFL Today, join Terry Bradshaw and Jim Nantz for all the latest NFL news, including a look at the leader of America's team, Dallas Cowboys quarterback Troy Aikman. That's tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern on the NFL Today, followed by the slate of games you saw, the NFL Today. It's all you need to know. David West, the new pitcher. He inherits first and second, still only 1 out, 1 run in here in the 7th. And the Braves lead is now 6-2. David Justice, the hitter, his first hit of the series was last inning, a 2-run double, and he scored the final run of the 5-run 6th. West, the 4th pitcher of the game for Philadelphia. And he's in with a strike, 1-1 on Justice. Not much Justice could have done with that pitch, even if he swung at it. David thought it was a ball.
Usually if a left-handed pitcher is going to throw a breaking ball to a left-handed hitter, he ought to go with the harder breaking ball, because there are more mistakes made with a curved ball from a left-handed pitcher to a left-handed batter, in my opinion, than any other pitch to any other hitter. Obviously, that depends on the quality of the breaking ball, but my experience taught me that lollipop curveballs from left-handed pitchers give left-handed batters a chance to regroup. They may be fooled on the pitch, and they have that second chance if they keep the bat back, even though they may be fooled with the lower part of their body.
The last pitch was a 92-mile-per-hour fastball, and that had plenty on it. David West blows away David Justice, who kicked at the dirt on his way back to the dugout. This fastball also clocked at 92.
So in this version of that old biblical story, David beats David.
Action in the bullpen. The lefty is Ken Merker. The right-hander Greg McMichael. And the batter is Damon Berryhill. The switch-hitting catcher took a ball low. 1 run in. It was charged to Larry Anderson. He's responsible for the 2 base runners. Fred McGriff at second. Terry Pendleton at first. With 2 outs in the 7th. 6-2 Atlanta. They're out hitting the Phillies 11-6. West. A little bit low. Say this about Terry Tate. We talked at the very beginning of the telecast about his reputation for being a pitcher's umpire, having a generous strike zone. And I think that's great. And I think the fans think it's great. There have only been 2 walks in this game. One of those was the intentional walk. The game has moved along at a relatively brisk pace. And if more umpires called more strikes, that would be a big key to speeding up the ball game. Most would agree. Sometimes ploddingly slow.
Well, he's done it for both sides. He has given both teams the benefit of the doubt on pitches, especially wide. But the point is that it's going to help a guy like Tommy Glavine, as we said at the opening. It'll help a guy like Glavine because he feeds off an umpire who will give him the ball right off the plate.
The 3-0, a little bit too far off the plate. That's just the 2nd unintentional walk thrown by a pitcher in this game. The important thing, as you've said many times on the part of the umpiring, is consistency back behind the plate.
Right,
and certainly Terry Tate has been that today. Bases loaded and 2 down. And Mark Lemke will bat next. Dalton out to the mound to confer with the 6'6", 230-pound West. Lemke, who had an infield hit his first time up. He reached on the Duncan error last inning that led to a run. Popped out of play. 1 strike on Lemke.
Braves 51-30 this year here in Atlanta. But they had a better record on the road, 53-28.
The Phillies weren't intimidated about coming in here to play. Matter of fact, some of them said there's less pressure on the road. And the last time the Phillies were in here to play the Braves, they took 2 out of 3 in a series. Jack swing and a ball low. Lemke ahead, 2 balls and 1 strike. Well hit right center. Dykstra with a long run. He can't get it. McGriff has scored. Pendleton is in. Here comes Berryhill, a 3-run double, and the Braves have blown it open again.
Tommy Lasorda telling Pat O'Brien before the ball game this afternoon that the weak spot of the Braves is the bullpen. It's even weaker for the Philadelphia Phillies. Rarely does the bullpen come into play when you're playing the Braves. I mean, after all, their 4 starters won 75 of the 104 games they won this year. About 3 out of every 4. But with the Phillies, it is even more of a sore spot.
So 5 runs last inning, 4 runs here in the 7th. And very quickly the Braves have turned a 2-0 deficit into a 9-2 lead. And they're still batting in the 7th inning. Batted around last inning. And Francisco Cabrera, the pinch hitter for Glavine, is the 8th batter of this inning. Glavine's afternoon is finished after 7 innings. And he will have a great shot now at his first ever League Championship Series win. Danny Jackson has the spotlight focused on him. He'll be the Game 4 starting pitcher tomorrow night for Philadelphia. They will likely be trailing 2-1 unless they can make something happen in a big way over the final 2 innings here this afternoon. We talked about Tommy Lasorda's comment about the weakness of the Braves being the bullpen. Well, Philadelphia hasn't been able to exploit that in this series despite being the highest run scoring team in the regular season. They only got 4 runs in 10 innings in Game 1, 3 runs in Game 2, and only 2 here today.
Yeah, that's the point. I mean, the Braves may have a weak bullpen, but rarely does a team have a chance to get in it because of the effectiveness of the starters. And as I said the other night, in my opinion, the Braves bullpen isn't as bad as a lot of people say, but everybody compares the bullpen to the superb starting staff.
West gets Cabrera with the fastball, but damage is done to the Phillies as the Braves get 4. It's 9-2 as we head the 8th.
Toyota proudly presents All-Around Champions. Being part of a pennant race teaches you to play hard. Being part of a family teaches you to have a good heart. Robbie Thompson has been part of both. His strength, compassion, and reassurance have helped youngsters battling their own fight to do so with great dignity. Toyota is pleased to salute all-around champion Robbie Thompson by contributing $1,000 to the National Childhood Cancer Foundation.
Having been ranked the best compact sport utility vehicle in initial quality by its owners, we thought the Toyota 4Runner's extra value package might go unnoticed. So we put a twist on it. You get chrome bumpers, leather seats and trim, air conditioning, power windows, door locks, mirrors, and more for a savings of up to $1,000. Nice catch.
We have to have a communication system that never fails.
Patty was losing calls. Losing calls to her could possibly mean losing a life.
If the ambulance crews can't talk to the dispatch center, we can't run an ambulance business. If I could bring my monthly cost down, I could afford to budget state-of-the-art telephone system. That's what MCI did.
I had a great sense of responsibility.
MCI backs the product.
You try to do the good thing.
She sat there and really listened.
My dandruff's really bad. The itch drives me crazy. I'll try anything. The Denorex side feels different. It has a clean, tingling feeling. Nothing with Head & Shoulders.
Both Denorex and Head & Shoulders have effective dandruff medicine. But Denorex goes a step further with something extra that tingles to give your scalp a fresh, invigorating feeling.
That tingle is why I started using Denorex.
Try Denorex with Conditioners, the serious dandruff shampoo.
No more flakes, no more itch. My dandruff's history.
This game summary is sponsored by Budweiser.
Atlanta managed nothing in the first 5 innings today against Terry Mulholland, but then they scored 5 times in the 6th to knock Mulholland out, and they scored 4 runs in the 7th to take a 9-2 lead. Tommy Glavine is out after 7 innings in which he allowed 2 runs. And his relief comes from Kent Merker, who threw a first pitch strike to Lenny Dykstra. Numbers for Merker in the regular season. Most of his appearances out of the bullpen. He did make 6 starts. Dykstra 1 for 3 today. He singled his last time up. Popped out of play, third base side. Top of the order, Dykstra, Duncan, and Kruk coming up against Merker. Glavine worked 7 innings. He allowed 2 runs, both earned on 6 hits. Tom did not issue a walk, and he struck out 5. Dykstra down to McGriff. 1 out, and that is 7 in a row retired by Braves pitching. Glavine set down the last 6 men in a row he faced after the Kruk home run.
Talking earlier about the radar gun and how the velocity with which a pitcher throws can be very deceptive. Merker is rarely over 90. He's about 90, 91. But when hitters hit his ball, they talk about how heavy the ball is. Like hitting a shot put when you make contact, and that's what Len Dykstra did. He hit it on the fat part of the bat, but you find your hands ringing after hitting a Kent Merker fastball.
Mariano Duncan up there with a count of 2-0. Duncan tripled to center field and scored the first run of the game in the 4th inning. He's only hit in 3 trips today. Well hit to right. Justice racing back to the warning track, to the wall, and he can't get it. Duncan is on his way to third with his 2nd triple of the ball game. Appeared that Justice might have jumped when he didn't need to. I think that's what he's saying to Otis Nixon.
Yeah, he jumped and then tried to field the ball to his right about waist high. As you said, the 2nd triple for Duncan. Duncan led the National League in triples back in 1990 when he was playing with Cincinnati. Now watch the jump and the glove. Looked like it went to the right of the glove, to David's right. He probably thought he was closer to the wall than he really was. He had more room than he thought, but sometimes in your anxiety of getting back, you really don't know where the wall is.
Ball that could have and perhaps should have been caught, but it goes as a triple for Duncan. And here's Kruk with a chance to drive in his 3rd run of the afternoon. High throw by Blauser, but McGriff was able to handle it. Duncan is in to make it 9-3. All 3 runs driven in by John Kruk. And with the triple, Duncan has set a league championship series record. He's the first player ever to have 2 triples in the same league championship series game. Oh, he spent a lot of time over the 2 games in Philadelphia talking about scrapple, considered a delicacy in the Philadelphia area. Of course, down here they talk about grits, and there's some truth to that sign.
I know you've never tried scrapple. Have you ever tried grits?
Yes, actually I have.
Do you like grits?
We do have the chance to try scrapple if we should choose. Somebody in Delaware sent us some scrapple that arrived here in the booth. And since you've had scrapple before and I haven't, only you would know whether or not this is good scrapple. So would you like to dig in?
No. I'll wait until I never eat while I'm working, pal.
This, I don't know. This is some time taking the wrapping off the scrapple, and it emits quite a lovely aroma. Would you? Here's what it looks like. It's kind of brown. It looks like bread almost.
I was weaned.
Is this scrapple? You would verify that this is scrapple. This is not.
It is scrapple. Yes. No. It.
Item sent to us by a fan.
It's scrapple.
It is.
Yes, it is. But I would prefer grits.
You would prefer grits?
Yes. I was weaned on grits, not on scrapple.
But you live in the Philadelphia area now.
Yes.
So
well, and I've tried scrapple.
Yes. And you told me you love it.
Never eat between meals either, pal.
Hollins a walk. A likely story, I might add. That's the first walk thrown by Atlanta pitching today. I'm going to cover up the scrapple as we talk about Game 4 of the American League Championship Series tonight. Blue Jays lead 2-1. First pitch at 8:12 Eastern Time. Jason Beret against Todd Stottlemyre. Beret, a rookie, only 22 years old. So it would be fair to say that the White Sox will be sending a green beret at the Blue Jays today.
I like it. Nice going.
You were just glad to get off the scrapple talk.
Yes, I was.
They'll concede Hollins second base. Probably not a stolen base. That will likely be ruled defensive indifference as the Braves paid no attention to Hollins. And just as soon as we say that, the official scores, Bob Kenny and Paul Newberry, have decided to credit Hollins with a stolen base, and why not? And Dalton lifts one to left. It'll stay in the ballpark for Ron Gant. The Phillies get 1 in the 8th, but they still have a long road to travel. They're down by 6 after 7½.
Over 13 million vacationers visited the city of Atlanta last year. Not one of them, however, was a Lexus engineer. Why? Let's just say they were busy. The 1994 Lexus ES, improved, revised, refined, embellished. In a word, new.
We thought we'd been everywhere, seen everything. We were wrong.
We're back to the bone. We're back to the bone.
These guys were weird, and we liked it. Later, they took us to the Tower of Bud. Brother, tomorrow we ride again.
The thing is, 2 scoops of raisins make Kellogg's Raisin Bran taste so good, people forget it's good for them. What do you think?
Tastes good.
And?
It's delicious.
That's the same thing. See, it's Kellogg's, remember? So it tastes good and it's good for you.
Right. I forgot.
That's all right. Let's try again.
It tastes good.
And?
It's tasty.
And?
It's really tasty.
There are 2 reasons to eat Kellogg's Raisin Bran. The taste.
And?
More Americans trust Napa for everything they need to keep their vehicles running and to help them save, too. Get this Napa Power Battery for just $29.99 after rebate. An Evercraft 30-piece socket set is just $14.99. And a 3-pack of STP gas treatment is a low $1.99. So run into your nearest Napa Auto Parts store today.
We keep America running. We keep America running.
Tom Cruise, Robert Duvall, Nicole Kidman, torn between his lust for speed and passion for a woman.
You are selfish and you're scared.
Days of Thunder, Tuesday.
Our thanks to the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company and their aerial ambassador, Airship Stars and Stripes, for all the great shots during today's coverage, including that look at downtown Atlanta, one of America's great cities. Boy, if you're a sports fan, this is a great place to be with the Super Bowl here in January. Of course, the Olympics in 1996 will be held in this city. And for the 3rd straight year, the National League Championship Series has come to Atlanta. And the Braves lead 9-3 as they bat against the 5th pitcher of the afternoon for Philadelphia, Bobby Thigpen. Otis Nixon looked at a strike. Thigpen was the first man out of the bullpen in game 2 and pitched only 2/3 of an inning. Gave up 1 hit, but that was the 3-run homer to Damon Berryhill in the 3rd inning of game 2. Bobby appeared in 17 games for Philadelphia after the trade with the White Sox. The 0-2, strike 3.
Jim Fregosi telling us before the game and kind of laughing about it that I would love to give all of my players a chance to play in the league championship series. And the other night, most of them got a chance to play a 14-3 game. He said, but not just as soon not give them that experience in other games like here in the 8th.
Danny Jackson is the only Philly now on their active playoff roster who has not appeared. And he will appear as the starter tomorrow. Blauser the batter. He has started each of the 2 big rallies in this game for Atlanta that led to 5 runs in the 6th, 4 in the 7th, 9 runs in this one, and 14 runs in game 2. And you saw the note, 23 runs in consecutive games by one team is a championship series record. That's what the Braves have done. The old mark, 21 runs in consecutive games by the Orioles in the 1970 American League Championship Series against the Twins. Braves have done it with the big innings. A 6-run inning and a 4-run inning in game 2, a 5 and a 4 today. And Blauser is aboard again.
And aren't the Braves glad that the deal of Jeff Blauser for Roberto Kelly, who was then with the Yankees, didn't go through back in the spring of 1989. Bobby Cox telling us that that deal was made. It was as good as made. And someone from the Yankees turned it down, and he doesn't know to this day who it was. But at that time, Bobby, the general manager of the Braves, Bobby Kelly, now the center fielder with the Cincinnati Reds. And it's Bobby now and not Roberto.
Yes.
Not that Bobby, the other Bobby.
This Bobby has a 9-3 lead in the bottom of the 8th. Ron Gant at the plate. 1 for 3 with a double. He has also walked and scored a run. Blauser first with 1 out. Thigpen gets the call strike. 1-1.
Obviously, not to say that Bobby Kelly is not a fine player, because he certainly is. But when you get a shortstop who can make all the plays defensively and then contribute like Blauser does offensively, then you've got a real jewel. That's what the Braves have in Jeff Blauser.
And it's an important point, because it really has been a total improvement by Blauser, not only with his offensive numbers, but his performance in the field. You might recall that last year, in key late-inning defense situations, he was frequently replaced by Rafael Belliard. That practice has stopped. And drives one to deep left. In Cavilla, just in front of the track. 2 down, and Blauser retreats to first. And the batter is Fred McGriff. He has doubled, singled, and been intentionally walked. He singled to drive in a run and scored in the 6th. And he scored again after being intentionally walked last inning. One strike on McGriff. Interesting talking with Bobby Cox before the game today about Fred McGriff's arrival, and he was asked if any of the other Braves resented all the attention that McGriff has gotten since coming here and all of the credit that he has received for the Braves surge from 10 games out to the division title. And he said, no, the Braves really appreciate Fred to a man, because he is so modest and humble, and he really has shrugged off so much of the credit that has been given to him.
He is modest until he gets a bat in his hand. He's very soft-spoken, and certainly leads with the example that he sets. Awesome offensive numbers.
And he's called out on a borderline pitch. Last chance for the Phillies as we go to the top of the 9th. Atlanta leads 9-3.
We're a part of the future. We're the heart and the soul. You're a part of me. That's the heart of me. Without you, I'm just a lonely melody. But together we are harmony. Dr. Pepper, you're a part of me.
Dean Witter believed in listening.
Listen, not only to what our clients say, but what they mean. Each client has a level of comfort. Endeavor to find it. We measure success one investor at a time.
Broncos, Cherokees, Pathfinders, any pickup or 4x4, on-road or off. Introducing the tough new LTX Light Truck Series from Michelin.
Americans have always had a love affair with their cars.
Do you love? Who do you love? Yeah, who do you love?
And when it comes to plugs and filters, we guarantee to keep that spark going for a long, long time.
Do you love? Yeah, who do you love?
Over 1.5 million vacationers toured the canals of Venice last year. Not one of them, however, was a Lexus engineer. Why? Let's just say they were busy. The 1994 Lexus ES, improved, revised, refined, embellished. In a word, new.
I'm Bob Schieffer. Somali warlord Hadid says he would accept a ceasefire. But President Clinton says the United States is not in direct talks with Hadid. On tonight's Evening News.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Major League Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of Major League Baseball. Ninth inning and a 9-3 lead for Atlanta. Pete Incaviglia leads off for Philadelphia. Phillies need at least 6 or they'll be down 2-1 in this best-of-7 National League Championship Series. Greg McMichael, the new pitcher, and this is a good opportunity for Bobby Cox perhaps to restore some confidence for McMichael after he had some struggles late in the regular season and wound up on the short end of the result in Game 1 in Philadelphia.
He was the losing pitcher in Game 1 when Kim Batiste hit the ground ball down the third baseline, scoring John Kruk. And the Phillies were hoping, because of the emotional moment and that emotional game, hoping to build on it. But the Braves have come roaring back with 23 runs since that game.
Incaviglia out on the fly ball to Justice in shallow right. Phillies have had only 2 hits since the 5th inning. And the batter is Wes Chamberlain. He is 0 for 3 today. He hasn't had it out of the infield. He has grounded out 3 times. Plays to the mound, once to second. And McMichael missed with ball 1. Kevin Stocker scheduled to bat next. 1-1 the count. Tomorrow night starter for the Phillies, Danny Jackson. The reality setting in that he'll need to help his team win the ball game to get them back even in this series.
The reality also is that he will be facing John Smoltz, who is 5-0 in postseason.
Jackson, 1 game over 500 during the regular season. Smoltz was 15-11. That's the pitching matchup for tomorrow night, with the first pitch scheduled for 8:29 Eastern Time. Baseball 93 on the air tomorrow night at 8 Eastern. Don't forget Game 4 of the American League Championship Series tonight at 8 o'clock from Toronto. Hammered for a hit. Nixon racing after it. Chamberlain is going to try for 2. This team down by 6, and he got there. Risky play by Wes Chamberlain, but he goes sliding in with a double and is in scoring position with 1 out of the 9th.
If you try it, you have to make it every time when your team's down by 6. But Chamberlain had the play in front of him and made it rather easily.
Speaking of the game tonight, let's hope the White Sox, now that they've won one, will get back to the business of trying to beat the Blue Jays and stop taking shots at each other and their manager. Tough to believe the comments that George Bell had prior to the game last night. A guy who had .217 during the regular season, blasting the manager for not having him in the lineup. Game 4 tonight, 8:12, the first pitch from Skydome. Of course, Bo Jackson said after the first 2 games that the White Sox played a man short, a bat short in those 2 games because he wasn't in the lineup. He was subtly critical of Gene Lamont as well, then got his chance last night, went 0 for 4 and struck out 3 times. Blauser, nice play to keep it in the infield, but Stocker has a hit, his 3rd of the ball game. And Chamberlain moved to 3rd. So the Phillies trying to make it interesting here in the top of the 9th. Down by 6. They have runners at the corners with 1 out.
And Stocker jammed with the fastball. stopped by Blauser, but Jeff has no play. Phillies forced into playing at one base at a time, trailing by 6. Hit number 3 for young Kevin Stocker on this game.
And batting for the pitcher, it's Jim Eisenreich. He looked at a strike.
Gene Lamont saying about Bo Jackson's remarks that he didn't mind Bo making the remarks about him, but the way he read it, it was about one of his teammates, and that's what upset Lamont.
Sounded like a shot at Dan Pasqua.
Yeah.
Stepped in and played the first 2 games. Just missed. 1-1 on Eisenreich. Lenny Dykstra waits on deck. 9-3 Atlanta. The Phillies are threatening to score in the top of the 9th with 1st and 3rd and 1 out. Lemke couldn't get it. And it's 9-4 as Chamberlain is in. Stocker to 3rd. Eisenreich hustles into 2nd. And don't hang up the phone just yet. It's a 5-run game. 2 men in scoring position. A pinch hit double to drive in a run for Jim Eisenreich.
So the Phillies are still 2 batters away from getting the tying run up there. And Leo Mazzoni obviously trying to prevent that. I would imagine Dykstra would be taking 2 strikes in this situation. He's such a good 2-strike hitter, and especially against a right-handed pitcher like McMichael. Fregosi has said that Dykstra does that often, taking up to 2 strikes. And with the Phillies trailing by 5, you may see that here.
Mark Wohlers warming up, and if this appearance by McMichael was in part designed to build back some of his confidence, that's not going to happen today. As the Phillies have 3 hits and a run here in the 9th, Greg might be called upon later in the series to appear in a more crucial situation. What he's going to have in his head is at least 2 appearances in which he has not been effective against the Phillies. Lenny Dykstra 1 for 4, a single back in the 5th. And he looked at strike 1. Both teams now in double figures in the hit column. Good changeup. That's the specialty of McMichael. And Dykstra's in the hole 0-2.
Interesting thing about McMichael's changeup, he can make it go away from left-handed hitters and away from right-handed hitters. In my experience, I have never known a right-handed pitcher to make a pitch that does that to left-handers and right-handers. Usually if it goes away to left-handers, it goes into right-handers. But it's something in the grip of McMichael that can make it dance 2 ways.
A 1-2 pitch. He struck him out.
That is some weird rotation on that McMichael changeup, and as you can see, darting away from Dykstra.
So now it's up to Mariano Duncan to keep the Phillies alive. They're down by 5 with 2 outs in the 9th. The ground ball is short. Blauser throws him out. And the Braves lead the National League Championship Series 2 games to 1 by winning Game 3 9-4. We'll join Pat O'Brien in our Baseball 93 studios right after this.
always buckle up. Do it for those who love you. Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper is just what the doctor ordered. And by Wendy's, Dave Thomas missed his Monterey Ranch chicken sandwich so much he brought it back. Try one.
Well, the fans leave Atlanta Fulton County Stadium with another celebration for another win. Atlanta wins at 9-4. Hi again, everybody. I'm Pat O'Brien, along with Dodgers manager and honorary Atlantan, that's kind of hard to say, Tommy Lasorda. Thanks for being with us. What about the big bats of Atlanta today?
They're awesome. That team, once they start hitting, they're tremendous. It's a big game for Philadelphia in the next game. Jackson, the pitcher, has to pitch a good ball game or they're really in deep trouble. He's got to be able to contain those bats.
Atlanta up in this series now 2-1. Let's remind everybody that coming up a little over 2 hours from now, Game 4 of the American League Championship Series from Skydome in Toronto. The Blue Jays have a 2-1 lead in that series. And right now, let's go back down to, there's your starting pitchers, by the way, Jason Berry for the White Sox and Todd Stottlemyre for the Toronto Blue Jays. Now let's go down to Atlanta Fulton County Stadium and hear from the victorious Braves. And our Jim Gray is standing by with Crime Dog. Go, Jim.
All right, thank you, Pat. With Fred McGriff, you guys didn't get off to a very good start today. You're shut out the first 5 innings, and all of a sudden it popped. What enabled you guys to just explode once again tonight?
Well, Mulholland, he was throwing the ball real good early in the game, and we just said you got to stay on the ball and hit the ball the other way up the middle. Just don't give up on his breaking ball and so forth.
Was your home run the other night, which has ignited now 23 runs in the past 2 games, was that home run, did that break this whole series wide open?
I think it helped, but the first game, Schilling's threw a good ball game, but we had a lot of opportunities against him. We just didn't cash in. And these last couple of games, we got some big hits, and I think that's basically the difference. But my home run helped.
Do you feel as though the Phillies are capable of coming back, or are you guys just too good?
No, they're capable. They got a great offensive ball club over there. I mean, when you got to face Maddox and Glavine and tomorrow Smoltz, I mean, they can give anybody fits, but they got a real good offensive ball club. We got to keep playing ball.
Were you guys at all concerned? Things weren't going well at all today, and Mulholland was very effective. You guys get concerned at all?
Oh, yeah, I was getting just concerned a little bit because it was getting real late in the game, and I'm like, oh, no, we need this game bad. You know, first game at home, we got to win, because if they win, then all of a sudden the pressure's on us tomorrow to win and so forth. But now the pressure's on the Phillies to win tomorrow, because if they don't, it's going to be 3-1.
Great, congratulations. Thanks for joining us. Let's go back upstairs to Sean and Timmy.
Thank you, Jim. The Atlanta offense spread out today, so the Chevrolet player of the game is the winning pitcher, Tom Glavine, who allowed only 2 runs over 7 innings and winning for the first time in League Championship Series play. Chevrolet will donate $1,000 in the name of Tom Glavine to the Special Olympics. Let's send you back to New York and rejoin Pat O'Brien.
All right, Sean, thank you. And Jim Gray, thank you, too. We were talking about Game 4 tonight between Toronto and Chicago, and let's talk about that pitching. Those pitchers tonight. Todd Stottlemyre, you know something about Todd.
Well, Stottlemyre is the control pitcher. You have to get him early, because if you don't get him early, he starts getting real sharp and starts making the